Hey, what's up, everybody? So happy to see everyone back again, once again, right here on the good old YouTubes. I hope everyone had a fantastic holiday. I missed you all. Thank you once again for tuning in right here on youtube.com/@ChimeraGames. Appreciate y'all. Death Guard. Death Guard is going to be the order of the business of this evening. I am very excited to hop back in and work on the Plague Marines we started 2 weeks ago, back during the last stream. This is going to be our last stream for 2023. Oh my god. Wow. What a year it has been. It has been definitely one of the years of all time. Yo, what up, Poster Boy Pains? What's good, bro? Good to see you. I see you've changed your username to match with all the branding. I see you with the brand synergy and shit. To clarify, y'all, this moderator right here, Poster Boy Pains, you have seen him before. This is, in fact, Ultra Lord. Don't forget, by the way, to follow him on his Instagram and on his Twitter, for he has been posting some fantastic work on both of those platforms. He is a very talented miniature painter, arguably the reason why I got into it as well. Huge inspiration for me. He is in fact the poster boy for the hobby, hence the name. So yeah, definitely go give him a follow as well, you guys. And poster boy, don't be afraid to sorry, I just saw a fly in here. Don't be afraid to drop your ats in the chat for the people to be able to go and find you as well. Flacco, what's good? Good to see you. How's it going? Yeah, so order of business for today, just to summarize again real quick. So the plan tonight is to finish these Plague Marines. We only have one even remotely painted, but hopefully we can actually use these like next 3 hours and some change to actually finish these, because I would like to come back from the new year able to start on our next unit for this army. Next new unit for our new army, of course. So I'm just going to do my best to try and get these done as quickly as possible. And if there's, only like a little bit left by the end of stream, then I will I'll just go ahead and finish them offline. That way we can move on to the next project. I think is going to be the move, because the next project after this is going to be speed painting all the poxwalkers, and I have 30 of them to speed paint. So that's going to be a time. That is indeed going to be a time. Thankfully they're poxwalkers. They don't have to be like super neat, super like clean. They are kind of icky as a model. So we're going to take a lot of creative license with that project, I think, when it comes time for that. But yeah, other than that, I do have important announcements toward the end of stream, so definitely stay tuned for those. Or actually, I will just go ahead and actually say this now, and I'll reiterate them later since y'all are here. This is actually going to be my last ever YouTube live stream, because in the new year we're moving to Twitch. Yeah, so starting in the new year, I want to start streaming on Twitch instead of YouTube. Been doing some research, been doing some looking into things, and I just want to give Twitch a shot, see how that goes for a little while. Who knows if we like it or not. We're gonna Postboy says, oh thank god. Yeah, no, I feel you, man. Like I tried my best. Yeah, no, not last live stream ever. We're just gonna be changing platforms for a little bit, trying something new just for the sake of experimentation, while I got nothing left to lose, because this channel is still so tiny. I just want to see what the experience is like on that platform. And since I've literally only been like live streaming as far as like my actual content creation goes, I figured it makes sense, to just give it a shot for a little while. We might migrate back to YouTube if we decide that like we like things better over here. And there's always a possibility of simulcasting as well once I get that figured out too. It shouldn't be too hard, but in the new year, at least for like the first we're going to take it sort of stream by stream. We will be broadcasting specifically on Twitch, so keep your eyes out here on my YouTube, on the community tab, and also on my social medias. Y'all, my primary one is Instagram outside of this, for announcements with my Twitch link. That way y'all can go and follow me over there and be notified for when I start streaming over there. And of course, I'm going to make announcements as time goes on. Second important announcement, speaking of streams, is starting in the new year, starting the week after New Year, so not the week of the 1st, but the week of the 8th of January, we are going to be adding a second stream to our schedule. We will now be streaming on Monday nights in addition to Friday nights at the exact same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, just so we can get more hobbying done in the week. You know, I was thinking about it while over the holiday, and I was like, you know, I love streaming, but like most of not all my hobbying time, at least like my sort of mainline hobbying time as far as like actual army progress and everything like that goes, is kind of focused mainly on during my streams. Like it's kind of reserved specifically for my streams. So in the new year, hey Godzilla, what's good? You're just in time, buddy. I'm giving everyone some important announcements here real quick. The one I'm talking about right now is we're going to be adding a second stream in the new year starting the week of January 8th. We're going to be streaming twice a week on Monday night and Friday night, both at 7:30 p.m. So you have that to look forward to. I'm also going to be migrating, at least for just a little while, just to see how things go, over to Twitch for a little bit, just to give that a shot. So stay tuned to all the socials for details about that. I'll make a couple of posts here in a little while, detailing all the changes and whatnot. That way y'all can find my links and everything and go and follow me over there. So I just want to give it a shot, see what the environment is like over there, you know. Gain access to Twitch's tools too, because YouTube is, you know, it's this great old big old juggernaut of video content on the internet. And yet they still have not figured out how to make their live streaming experience the absolute best it could be. So I just want to give Twitch a shot just to try out those features and see if it doesn't enhance the viewing experience for you guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be starting the first stream back after New Year's, which is going to be what's the Friday after New Year's? That's Friday the 5th of January 5th. Right? Monday, wait, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Yeah, it's the 5th of January. Yeah. So that stream is going to be happening over on Twitch. And then we're going to be adding 2 streams a week, Monday and Friday night, 7:30 p.m. right here. Not right here, but you know, right here in my apartment. But it's going to be over on Twitch for a little bit. And then, you know, we might end up migrating back over here to YouTube someday if we decide that we don't like Twitch. But for now, that's going to be the plan. So with that being said, our objective tonight is to get all these Plague Marines painted, so that way we can move on to our next unit, which are going to be the Poxwalkers after this, when we come back from the New Year festivities. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move over to the hobby table. And while I'm getting started here, I want to hear how everyone's day was, of course, because I love hearing about y'all's days. It's part of the reason why I enjoy doing this so much. So yeah, tell me, how's everyone's holiday too? Y'all get anything cool for Christmas? Hobbyists in the chat, any new model acquisitions, any new tool acquisitions, paints, anything like that? I'm very curious to know what y'all have been up to, what sort of loot y'all just were able to, you know, to bag over the last, you know, couple of weeks. Been pretty good. Working on my night was fun. Yeah, I literally just saw that as I was starting the live stream up, Godzilla, that I saw your conversion that you're working on. That looks really cool. I absolutely love how the sort of insectoid influence from, you know, the Tyranids and whatnot, it seems to like sort of be bleeding into that, because it looks like it's got like, you know, multiple legs like a bug or something, which I think is really cool. Yeah, no, that looks sick so far. I'm excited to see how the rest of it turns out. Okay, gonna start with a little bit of our tidal wave. I'll pour this right here. There we go. See, there's a little bit of water on our wet palette because that's the reason why the paint ran like that, but that's okay, honestly, because we need to actually thin this a little bit anyway to make it as usable as possible for us. So I don't mind that at all. Oh, there actually seems to be quite the puddle of water around here. It was good. I found some Eldar in the old storage unit I've been looking for forever. Oh, good. More Eldar. Yay. Nah, I'm messing with you, man. That sounds cool. What units did you manage to find in there? Oh boy, more Eldar for me to get clapped by in our 2,000 point game. No, I'm kidding. The big ticket item there was a Bone Singer. Oh god, what is a Bone Singer? That sounds terrifying. What is a Bone Singer? Please, please, poster boy, please, don't do this to me. I stuffed all the weapon options on him, so the tendrils are one of them. It will still have normal legs. Dope. Dope. Very cool. I feel like one of these days I'm probably going to end up getting into knights. You know, you would think that as a Sisters player, I would have gotten into Knights already, because apparently our most survivable lists all include allied Knights. But those are definitely something that I want to take my sweet ass time approaching, I'm not gonna lie, because they are just so massive, you know? Just because of how massive they are. There is a huge puddle of water actually down in here, which I did not see. So I'm gonna make sure we avoid putting any more whatchamacallit there for the time being. I was not as careful as I could have been. What do you think of all the heads I gave it? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant Godzilla as always. Very horrific, very grimdark. I dig it. A bone singer is a type of farseer, basically. They're specifically the ones that make wraith constructs. Oh my god, no! No, no more wraith anything. No more wraith anything for Eldar, please, no. No more. Papa Emperor, please. Yes, of course, Godzilla, of course. You know me, dog, I'm always a big fan of your work, for sure, homie, for sure. Oh my god, sorry, I'm just experiencing some flashbacks from my game against Poster Boy there. Over the break, we met up and we played a 2,000 point game, my sisters versus his Eldar. And you know what? And you probably saw my Instagram post about this, but just to put it out there for the live stream, you know. Yeah, no, I lost, but it was a close game. I only lost by 10 points, 80 to 90. It was actually a really fun game. Oh no, you fought Eldar. Yes, I am so sorry. What did you bring against the Eldar Godzilla? And then also too, what were there any key units of note that your Eldar opponent brought? And at the mention of Eldar, Poster Boy comes back, and Nikki's here. Nikki, what's good, bro? How you doing? Hope you had a great holiday. We're all just swapping stories about all of our hobby-related activities over the break. I was literally just detailing how I lost pretty narrowly to Poster Boy here with his Eldar, which was quite the time. Those Wraithguard, oh boy. Those Wraithguard were not fun to try and deal with. I am lucky he only brought one unit of them. I am lucky he only brought one unit of them, because they would not die. They simply would not die. Nope, 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 no. It is true what they say. The Wraithguard need to be nerfed. They need to be nerfed. Along with like several other things from the Tyranids? No, God. From the Eldar Codex. I saw that coat post. Eluse is good job, Poster. Yeah, you're right. A loss is a loss. That is true. That is true. But we'll come back next time even stronger, though, for sure. For sure. The copium, yeah. I was huffing some weapons grade copium there. You are absolutely right. Woo, some weapons grade ooftonium. That entire game happened to be. But it was still fun, because Poster Boy is a great opponent. 2v2 3-point games, 3k point game, Nids versus Eldar. Oh my god. So what, each of you brought 1,500 points worth of models? Pretty much. Hashtag buff the Nids. Honestly, yeah, Tyranids do need a little bit of help right now. I mean, sure, y'all have like the spores that can like go and do secondaries and everything, but like, oh, I see. Nice, nice, nice. And did you mention? Let me see. Let me look back. Let's see. Had to fight Eldar yesterday. The plan. So, what was the actual result of the game? Like, how badly did or did you? Well, you made it sound like you lost, but did you lose? Godzilla did. We need more blue. It was a tie game. Oh wow. Nice. Well, good for you for tying it up, though. Also had a good time, so that's all that matters, right? Exactly. Well, of course you had a good time. You won. Nah, I'll mess with you. Yes. Yes, absolutely, Ultra Lord. That is the only thing that matters ultimately, is having a good time. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, that was a pretty fun game, though. That was, in fact, a pretty fun game. They did most of the killing, though. It is interesting how a close loss is more fun than curb stomping your opponent. Speaking from the 7 kill team games I've played. Yeah, no, it's interesting how, like, I mean, because, like, you know, when you think about it, right, it's like, when you're playing really any of these games, it's like you're standing around, you know, for so long, and, you know, physically it can be rather draining to play at times, actually, especially, like, when a game goes for, like, 3 hours or more. So, you know, it's nice when things are nice and dramatic and interesting, you know, kind of entertaining at the same time, you know. No matter which side of that you happen to be on, whether or not you happen to be winning or losing. Like, if you're gonna stand across a big ass table from somebody, they ought to be a good, for like that amount of time, you know, they ought to be a good opponent, you know what I'm saying? They ought to be a good opponent that is fun to play against. I'm so confused what's going on here. They did most of the killing, though. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Eldar are particularly lethal, especially with them fate dice. Fate dice. Fate dice, also known as what every Sisters player wishes Miracle Dice could be. I mean, for flavor purposes, Miracle Dice are like perfect as they are. Like, they are what they ought to be, but like, in terms of power in the game, it's just... Sometimes it's just, you just don't feel it. You don't feel it as much as you feel like you should as a Sisters player, you know? The sigh. Anyway. Go here, go here. But hopefully you had fun too, right, Godzilla? This boy is going to be rather complex to paint, I'm realizing. Weed off some of that excess, and then we paint this entire doodad right here. Looking great so far. Oh, hi, Blue. Oh my God, welcome in. Oh, hi, Blue. It's good to see you, fam. Fancy meeting you here. Welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. How's your evening been so far, or whatever time zone you happen to be? I forget what time zone you're in off the top of your head. My head. The fuck? Anyway. Ooh. Sorry, I don't English good when I'm in the zone. Auto zone. Oh, I'm glad you're able to finally catch it. Oh my God, Ham, you're here too. That's hilarious. Oh my God. Wow. I feel so exposed right now. I feel so like, I feel like my alter ego has been exposed ever so slightly. Oh my God. Well, hi guys. I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome. We are just painting some stinky boys. These are Plague Marines from Warhammer 40k. Do with that combination of words whatever you will. But yeah, I'm happy to see y'all. Hope y'all had good days, or if your days are just starting, I hope they are off to a great start so far. The rest of us, we were just over here kikiing a little bit about the holidays, about, you know, any cool hobby loot we all got, and games we played and whatnot. Some of us were a bit more successful in that department than others, but that's okay. We live, and we learn, and we love the game of Warhammer 40,000. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I think that's about it for blue base coats for this guy. I think we can move on to the next one. I'm going to be doing series painting here. I'm going to be painting all these guys in series, or not in series. I'm just going to be painting them in batch painting style just to try and speed things along here. So stop here for this guy for now. Oh, and Ham and Blue, if you're curious, this is the result we're kind of going for right here. This is the test model I painted on my last stream. Here, I'll actually flip them upside down so you can actually see them better. But yeah, you can see this is kind of what we're going for right here. Let me get that in focus. That should be good enough. So yeah, there you go. That's what we're going for right there. Ah, thank you, Ham. Oh, thank you, Blue. Appreciate that. Oh, speaking of you two, And also, Nikki, if you're here too, I made an announcement at the top of stream that I'm going to reiterate now, but starting in the new year, first of all, our first stream back in the new year, which is going to be on the 5th of January, right? Because that's the Friday after New Year's. Yes, yeah, because New Year's is on a Monday. It's nice how everything's on a Monday this year. It makes it easy to remember things. You stream on I'm actually so glad you stream on YouTube. I can have you up on my TV screen. It's so funny how you mentioned that. It's funny how you mentioned that, Blue, because actually the first announcement that I was going to say is that we're going to be actually moving over to Twitch for a little bit in the new year. We're going to be moving over to Twitch for just a little while, just to try it out and see how it goes. I was actually talking to E about this earlier today, and we were kikiing about like streaming and content creation and whatnot, and she encouraged me to give it a shot. So at their behest, I'm going to be moving over to Twitch just to give it a shot. I told them I'd give it a shot. Yeah, I know your timing couldn't have been more perfect, right? And we're gonna, see how we like it over there for a little while, and then eventually we might move back over here to YouTube. If anything, if we end up liking Twitch, then I see, if we don't just exclusively move over to Twitch, which I really don't see us doing necessarily, because we got our start here on YouTube. Simulcasting is what's kind of in the cards from now on. Just because that's something I've been kind of looking into on, sort of back end of things, looking into how to do all that and whatnot for a little while. So there's definitely that to look forward to, as well as a potentiality. And then we're also going to be adding 2 streams, we're going to be adding a stream to our weekly schedule. So in addition to streaming on Friday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time right here, we are also going to be streaming on Monday nights, same time, just to give ourselves a nice little way to start and end the week, I guess, and because I want to get more hobbying done in the week. So that is what the plan is for the new year for me. So there you go. There we go. Let's see here. Woo, more streams. Either way, I hope to catch more streams in the future. Whatever you enjoy the most. Thank you, Blue. I appreciate your support there. What in the... Hold on. I need to check something real quick. Yeah, I put too much water in here. Hold on. There's too much water on this wet palette right now. I need to fix that real quick. That's okay. That's what I brought the emergency paper towel for. Just gonna really quickly go down the sides here, soak up some of this. Cause I was like, my paint is getting really thin really fast. I think, yeah, I overloaded this. Not too badly, but we do need to soak up some of this water because it's coming in from the sides. I don't usually have this problem, but something I forget sometimes about my weird ass apartment is that the floors on this side of the apartments, like this side of my apartment, are all slightly sloped for reasons I have never really quite understood. So whenever there's anything that might be affected by gravity on this side of the house, I have to compensate for that. I have to remember to compensate for that ever so slightly. And I usually don't put this much water into my wet palette, but it seems as though I've put too much in there tonight, as evidenced by the fact that I'm actually experiencing the gravity effect that I normally do not. So there's that failure. Slipped into a different accent there. Weird, but whatever. If I need to go refresh this, I will just do that as well, or I'll just switch to using my dry palette, because I have that nearby too. I do have that nearby as well, so that is an option. Okay, you want to get this guy's helmet nice and blue as well. Blue for Blue Violet, look like that. Hey, G-Dog, what's good? Long time no see. Happy to see you, dude. Happy to see you. Sorry, I'm very in the zone right now. I can barely English good. How are you? I'm doing alright. Hope you had a good holiday season, if you celebrate. Hope you got some time to relax, take it easy, unwind, get some hobbying into, if that's your vibe as well. Depending on how old your place is, it could be that the building's set at an angle. Yeah, Ham, it's definitely got to be that, because this building is actually pretty old. It's, classic New York City pre-war building type vibe, type situation, you know, so yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. That makes perfect sense to me. Oh well. Guess it spices things up a little bit, you know. Living on medium difficulty setting, I don't fucking know. Oh my goodness. This is looking nice so far though. I really like this tidal wave color. This is definitely the color I was looking for this project. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I like the vividness of this blue. It's like gentle but vivid, which I really like. I really appreciate that. I am getting some blue in areas where I don't necessarily want there to be blue, but that's okay. Because, oh, that's like a little bug thing. Oh, interesting. Gotta keep that in mind when I go to paint that. So we're gonna be painting this alternate colors too. Okay, cool. What was I saying? What was I saying? Oh well, anyway. At least if water falls, you can clean it up easily. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, these paints are very easy to clean up, which is, you know, great because messes are highly probable when it comes to, well, when it comes to hobbying and when you're me. It seems we both like do blue Death Guard. Yeah, I just like painting with the color blue in general. Like if you look at most of my collection, you know, I mean, you've seen my sister's Godzilla in it. It's like I have so many blue things. I have so many blue things. All my sisters are pretty much blue. Even my Adeptus Custodes are like a bluish silver, you know, so I'm a big fan of blue. Blue is also just a generally easier color to paint with too, because blue paint tends to not suck as much as the other colors, you know. So there's that, of course. It is a great yeah, of course you would say that blue violet. Of course you would say that the one and only blue violet. But yeah, okay, let me think. Just quick scan. Okay, good. These guys have so many little bits and angles and corners to them, which is somewhat antithetical. Oh my god, I totally forgot the gauntlets. Why am I blanking on that? It's somewhat antithetical to the whole concept of speed painting, of course, but we are still going much faster than we would have been this time or like 2 years ago when I first started hobbying. Also, I mentioned this on my Instagram, which you can go check out, by the way, in the description. But yeah, today I am marking my 2-year hobbying anniversary. I started painting Warhammer miniatures 2 years ago this week, and we have come a long way since then. I never thought that I'd try, you know, being a content creator related to this stuff. I never thought that I'd buck up the courage to you know, share my work with the world. But I'm very happy I did, because it brought me to all of you. And so I'm very grateful for being able to do this with y'all, and I'm very excited for what the new year will bring. Not just for me, but for all of us. Especially because so many of us here are into 40k, and will also create online and post stuff out there. Which is a very brave act to put yourself out there, especially artistically. Thank you guys. I appreciate the congratulations. Really appreciate that. Yeah, no, it has been 2 years for me. I don't think either of the two of you have heard this story, but the long and short of it is that I got COVID in December of 2021, back when the Omicron wave was sweeping through. And while I was in quarantine, so I was still at school at the time, I had nothing to do. I did 3 things. Be still my beating heart. Congratulations. Thanks, Godzilla did. I did 3 things in quarantine. Number 1, I started watching Succession, and that's how it quickly became one of my favorite shows of all time. Number 2, I bought and beat in exactly 12 hours Return of the Obra Dinn, which is now one of my favorite video games of all time. And then finally, the last thing I did was I didn't stumble across it, but I was thinking about Poster Boy here, who's in the chat. He's one of my friends in real life. He's my real life best friend from like our school days. And I was thinking about him because I think we were talking or something. I think we were talking in our group chat, and I was like, you know, Connor's into this Warhammer 40k thing too. And like, yeah, I've always seen like the heresy memes and whatnot, but I've never actually seen someone play the game. So like, I wonder what that looks like. So I looked up like Warhammer 40k gameplay on YouTube, and I watched my first ever battle report from the channel Play on Tabletop, and I was like, oh shit. I gotta get into this. And then I remember I texted you, Poster Boy, and I was like, yeah, this looks really cool, but like, you know, it seems like really expensive. Maybe this is something that I'll like get into like in the sort of medium term, maybe like long term future type of situation. And then the week after, I went to my local game store back home in Virginia, and I bought my first set, which was the Sisters Combat Patrol. So then boom, there you go. That didn't take very long at all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've said Poster Boy's real name even by accident here. Stop. Oh my god, not the doxing. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure I've said your real name on here by accident before. But yep, there you go. That is the story of how I got into this lovely hobby, and I have not regretted it since. And I really do mean that too, because like, you know, I'm someone who I've tried a lot of things. I've been very, you know, fortunate to be able to like try a lot of things in my life when it comes to hobbies. And like, you know, I got other hobbies too, like, you know, video games and, you know, like anime and shit and manga and shit and whatnot. I play guitar too, but I gotta say, of everything that I've ever tried, this is like the one thing that's like really sunk its claws into me. And I think about it, I think about how it like brings together so much of like what I value as a person, in terms of, you know, like, you know, it being like part art, but then also part like game and like, you know, high fantasy and sci-fi and like, you know, just so many. It's just the fact that so many of my own interests happen to all be components of the larger Warhammer 40k, and also just miniature painting in general, space, you know. And so I think that's what's really kept me like, you know, grounded in this hobby and like hooked into this hobby, is the fact that like I feel like I'm kind of doing all my other hobbies at the same time. Also, it's just a great way to meet people too, like not just online, like people like Godzilla or G-Dog here in the chat, but also like when I go to play, you know, I often am going to play, you know, people I've never met before in real life, and it's just really, it's a really fun way to meet new people and sort of broaden my own horizons, especially, you know, having been out of school for like over a year now. And there goes that stupid iTunes notification again. No, go away. So yeah, so I really am a big fan of that component of it as well. There's just so much to love with this hobby in general, and I'm very grateful that it found its way into my life, and that I found my way to it. My wallet probably feels differently though. My bank account probably feels very differently about that. It's okay. I will make it see the light. But yep, that's my spiel about how and why I got into Warhammer 40k and miniature painting in general. I also just find it incredibly relaxing too, even during its most stressful moments, some of which have been captured live in 1080p right here on this channel. But yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it, Failer. Okay, I know this backpack's gonna be our bronze color, so I'm not gonna mess with that at all. Here we go. I'm gonna kind of have to reach around all these dangly bits here. See, we've made a few minor errors here and there, but that's okay. We have ample opportunity to fix those as we progress. We will not have to work backwards to fix any of these. We can actually fix them forwardly, which is good. Which is very good indeed. like I've sort of said before, since these guys are supposed to be all sort of gooey, icky, etc., we don't have to worry about making them the most pristine models. Obviously, I'm going to make them look neat, but we don't have to make them look pristine necessarily, so... Also, in terms of model count, this will be the smallest army I paint outside of like Adeptus Custodes, because the point values for individual Death Guard units are generally pretty high. They are a pretty elite army, although their stats don't really have much to show for it in that regard. Hey, Games Workshop, when are you going to give us back Disgustingly Resilient? Anyway, point is, this entire army project should be actually a lot lower stakes than even our sister's project was. So I'm looking forward to working on this army, if for no other reason than for that reason alone, really. Also, these models are gorgeous too. Like, I never thought I would get into any of the Chaos factions, but like, gosh darn it, I was browsing the website one day at work, and I just laid my eyes on, I think it was Typhus was the first model I saw, and I was like, damn, that's really cool. Well, I guess this is going to be my next army after I finish my sisters, and lo and behold, here we are. It was almost Tyranids, but the people voted against Tyranids for the time being. They will be the army after this one instead. Sorry, Godzilla Nid. But yes, we will definitely be getting to the Buggy Boys in the future. I'm actually really excited about the Tyranids. I can live without Disgusting Resilient coming back to TBH. Really? Oh, I mean, of course you'd feel that way. What kind of material are the minis? Metal or plastic? Good question, Ham. Good question. The answer for most Warhammer 40k miniatures is plastic. Most miniatures are plastic. However, it's interesting, and Poster Boy here, he can illuminate you further on the sort of history, but basically most if not most, almost all the miniatures nowadays are plastic. However, some older miniatures are still made of either metal or resin, a sort of resin type material, which we all in the Warhammer community affectionately refer to as fail cast, because it sucks. We hate painting with it, we hate working with it. And the company that runs the game, Games Workshop, they've been slowly, arguably too slowly, working toward bringing all of the collection into plastic. So you'll see like certain armies, like for example the Eldar, who are the space elves that Poster Boy plays. We were actually talking about this when we got together for our game. Some of his models are still metal because Games Workshop have not updated every model in the Eldar range yet, because the Eldar, they have like a shit ton of models to choose from, so they're kind of moving pretty slowly with them. If not for any other reason than for that reason alone, because they're such a huge army. Yeah, it's called Failcast because it's the material itself is called fine cast resin, but fine it certainly is not, at least not to most people. I don't know a single person who enjoys working with Failcast. Yeah, exactly. Warp spiders. Those are the exact models I was thinking of, because Ultralord, not Ultralord anymore, Poster Boy. Poster Boy brought some warp spiders to our game, and I was surprised when I was like, oh shit, these are metal. That's really cool. These are so metal, but they are actually metal. I hope those get a plastic update soon, because those are really neat models and they deserve better treatment. Justice for warp spiders. Poster Boy says, always dislike the Death Guard having +1 toughness and also have 2 chances to save. Fair, fair, fair. But hear me out, hear me out. They're slow as shit though. Like movement wise, they're like it bounces out. It bounces out, and it's, you know, it's flavorful, it's fluffy, you know. Yep, gotta love the metal bug boys. I can imagine the metal cast has become more expensive because of the scarcity of them. That's really, actually, I don't know. Poster Boy, care to comment on that? Are the because I actually don't know for myself, since all my sister's miniatures are in wait, are they all? Yeah, they're all in plastic now. But Ultralord, are the metal miniatures more pricey because of their scarcity? Are they pricier for their scarcity, or is it Or are they on par with kind of everything else? The metal knits, I didn't realize there were still Tyranid models that were plastic still. What are metal still, I mean, Godzilla knit. Which Tyranid models are still in metal? I can imagine the paint sticks very well to metal. Were they not meant to be painted? Then again, I don't know much about model painting, so I may be completely wrong. Actually, it does stick surprisingly well, because no matter what the material, Blue, no matter what the material, you will have to prime your miniatures anyway. In fact, I'll show you, hold on, I'll show you a good example of this in just one moment here. Let me just finish putting all this paint on my brush that's in my brush onto the model real quick. Knock that out to avoid tea staining. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So, I mean, I have some old metal ones. Oh, you have some old metal ones. I see. Oh, that's right. You talked about this. You've talked about this in the past. I remember. The price of things that are metal aren't necessarily more expensive to the equivalent plastic ones made right now. I see. Wasn't it, it was gargoyles you have, right, Godzilla, that are metal, or am I wrong? And then Blue here, pay attention real quick. I'll show you something. So, this is not the sprue that these models came off of, but here's some leftover sprue from a sister's model that I painted. So every miniature starts its life off as just individual components that must be assembled by cutting them free of this plastic sprue, or like a plastic sprue like this, and using something like, where's my plastic cement here? Using something like plastic cement right here in order to meld, yeah, and a lictor too. Okay, that's what I thought Godzilla did. In order to have everything stick together, because what plastic cement does, unlike super glue, is it melts the plastic together, forming one unified piece, as opposed to like two separate pieces that have like just a medium in between the two, a binding agent in between the two. So it makes them for a much more secure bond, right? So every model starts off its life like this, and then eventually you'll end up priming your miniatures in order to get them ready for the paint, because the primer is what helps the paint stick to it. In fact, you can see these other models we haven't gotten to yet. These are actually primed. I did what's called a zenithal prime on these, which is basically where you take first a black, then like a sort of grayish color, then a brighter white color in series, and you spray them one on top of the other. You spray the black all over, then you spray the gray and the white from on high, as if to simulate sunlight shining down onto the model from the sun's highest point in the sky, or its zenith, hence the name zenithal highlighting. So yeah, this is what a primed miniature, or at least a miniature the way I like to prime, looks like at first. And then with my technique, I use what's called contrast style painting, also kind of known as speed painting, where you use partially transparent paints to slap right on top of this prime job here. And you can see as I apply this paint, the undercoating that I did underneath all that just shines right through and provides all of my provides all the lighting and the volume that I want. There's also volumetric highlighting, which I have not looked into very much yet, but it's something I definitely want to learn as a technique because it looks really cool. So there you go. Poster Boy says the price of things that are metal aren't necessarily more expensive for the equivalent plastic ones made right now. Usually what makes metal ones more expensive is how much people like the sculpt and how rare the model is. Gotcha. As well. Oh yeah, and of course Buddy the Hive Tyrant. I forgot about Buddy. How could I forget about Buddy? Gotcha, Godzilla Node. Companies still making metal ones will be comparable prices to plastic ones. They use dirt cheap metals to cast the models, right? Don't they use like pewter or something? I think they use like pewter or something, right? So it's like pretty cheap. Because pewter is a nickel and something alloy. I forget which one. I forget what other metal alloys with nickel to make pewter. Oh, very interesting. Thank you for that explanation. Write that down, write that down. Of course, Blue, of course. Yeah, it's pewter. That's what I thought, Ultralord. That's what I thought, Poster. I keep calling you by your old username. Oh my god. That's because it's still your screen name when we like go and play games and stuff. So I've got it baked into my memory bank here. But yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was pewter. And Blue, to show you, I have my airbrush right here. This is what I use to prime my miniatures. Ultra Poster Lord paints. Oh my gosh. Godzilla, I love your sense of humor, bro. Hey, it's that one track that sounds like All Star. More paints, please. Oh, and here's a closer look at the color we've been using so far, blue in hand. This is called Tidal Wave, made by the Army Painter. See, it's labeled as Speed Paint 2.0 because that's the line. Ah, shit! Drop my brush. Where did my brush go? There it is. My Twitch is Ultralord, so you'll have to go. Oh my god, bro. Oh my gosh. Godzilla says, Blue, you should get a Warlord Titan. It's a good place to start. Yeah, a Warlord Titan. A Warlord Titan, yes. Excellent place to start painting. Oh my gosh, wait. How big is a Warlord Titan? Warlord Titan dimensions. A Warlord Titan is 108. Wait, no, that's the lore. No, I don't want the actual size of a Warlord Titan. Warlord Titan model dimensions, please. I was gonna say, wait, 108 feet? No, that's not what we want. Oh, it's like 70 centimeters tall. Yeah, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. That is pretty large. Yep. Wait. What? I'm so confused. Mars pattern Warlord Titan stands. Yeah, 22 inches tall. Yeah, 22 inches tall. It's a pretty big model. It's barely a Tidal Wave Violet. That's my new name. Baller. Yeah, no, the Warlord Titan can only very loosely, barely be classified as a miniature, because it really is not. It's miniature. It's miniature compared to the actual scale of a Warlord Titan in the lore, but in a literal sense, it is very not mini. It is very not mini at all. It's not very cash mini of you, bro. You didn't hear me say that just now, but anyway. Any whoosies. There's the T. I'll start changing your nicknames now. Blue, sorry, Tidal Wave, I'm dead. I actually have so many different flavors of blue over here in this paint collection of mine. I'll have to show you some of my favorites. In fact, I got another one sitting right here. Where is Magic Blue? Look at that. Boom. Look at that, Blue. Your magic. Check that out. Blue Tidal Wave Violet. There you go. Okay, I think we got all the blue we need down here. It's important because, you know, the armor is so like clad in a bunch of other stuff that we make sure we get all the base coat the first time around, so we don't have to go back and try and correct later on top of something. Is it wrong to think that painting something bigger may actually be easier than painting something super small? Or maybe that's just my shaky ass hands talking. OMG Magic Blue. That's a good question, Blue, and really it all depends on the painter. I definitely see where you're coming from because I actually recently completed painting a statue for a friend, so definitely something on a larger scale than what I'm used to doing. It was about 10 inches tall, the statue I painted for my friend. If you go on my Instagram, you can see the statue. It's of the characters Lucy and David from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. And that was much bigger than what I usually work with, and I found it easy to work with in a lot of ways. Easier to work with in a lot of ways, but there are also some challenges. But it was nice being able to, like, you know, have more room to just sort of work with, I guess. Yeah. And Godzilla Nid here, he likes painting bigger things as well. So yeah, no, it definitely, yeah, I guess you could say, yeah, in general it would be easier to paint bigger things. It's a lot more forgiving, I guess you can say, because you have more time to react to your own mistakes because they're a lot more visible when you make them. Whereas the advantage to painting on something smaller is that it's easier to hide your mistakes if you make them. Oh gee, that show was a trip and a half. Yeah, that show was a trip and a half. I agree. It just barely kept me from canceling my Netflix subscription. So I guess it had, it did its job. It did its job, you know. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool show. I was very happy to paint the statue for my friend. That was the first time someone ever asked me to paint something for them, and I actually followed through with it. It's like I have people from school, friends from school that I know that that you know they've been getting into D&D in the last year or so because of the movie and because of Baldur's Gate 3, and they all have asked me to paint their miniatures for them. Because they like got little character miniatures for their games, and I said yes, but then like 75% of them never give me the miniatures to actually paint because I guess they forget, or maybe their like D&D session falls apart. So I was really happy to actually be able to paint something for someone else for the first time ever. That was actually like a really fun experience for me. Challenging for sure, because I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to like make it good, of course, because it wasn't something for myself. You know, more pressure than I usually do. I mean, for my own work. But I really enjoyed the challenge, and in fact I'll show you what I painted right now. Actually, let me log into my Instagram real quick. That is what I am doing right now. I'm logging in. Oh shit, sorry, I just saw, hold on, let me go back to my home screen real quick. Shout outs to our boy Nikki real quick. I just saw one of Nikki's posts just popped up on my timeline. That looks really dope. This Calgar looks really dope. Look at that. Wait, is this Calgar? Or is this just a generic captain? Lore boys, help me out, because I actually don't know that much about Space Marines! Yeah, it's Calgar. Okay, that's what I thought. Hey! There you are, Nikki. But let's see, let me go to my profile real quick. But yeah, here's the statue right here. This is what I painted for my friend Blue and him. See the back side, front side. This statue is about 10 inches tall, so it's a lot taller than these boys that we're painting right here. So yeah, no, this was a lot of fun to work with though. I actually quite liked working with models of this scale. Definitely like more like, you know, Warhammer size stuff I think is my bread and butter, but like, no, I really enjoyed working with, wow, I haven't looked at this picture in a while. Dang, that picture actually turned out really great. I haven't seen it on my desktop yet either, so like, yeah. Oh, thank you, Blue, I appreciate that. Papa Smurf. Papa Smurf Jr., I'm dead. Oh my god. Oh, thank you, Ham, I appreciate that. And actually, let me go, oh, perfect, I got all three of you pulled up right here. So, our boy Godzilla, here's some of his work right here, too. This model right here, this guy, Mortarion, is actually the Supreme Commander for the Death Guard army, the one we're working on right now. So we're actually going to be painting our own iteration of this at some point in the future. But yeah, this is one of my favorite models in Warhammer 40k right here, actually. Mortarion, easily top 2 models in the entire game. I know, I love the neon accents too. Oh no, you're talking about the thing. Well, I guess this is also neon green too. I really like the green glow effect, especially over here on the gun that Godzilla had achieved here as well. Just a really dope color scheme overall, and nice and sticky and icky, just like a Death Guard should be. Then we also have our boy Nikki, who we just saw. Some of his work here as well. You can see more of it right here. Some Kakeradon Space Marines, some Dark Angel action here. Another Demon Primarch right here. This is Angron, Supreme Commander of a different Chaos Space Marine army. Some Minotaurs right here, all very cool. And then we have our boy Poster Boy Paints right here. I forgot about your Mauler Fiend proxy right here. This is really cool. I really like this. This is such a cool pick for a proxy, Poster Boy. Like it's literally just a giant set of jaws. Like, I freaking love this. Got some Thousand Suns model. This is a different Chaos Space Marine faction. This is the more magic focused one with a different Demon Primarch. Oh, speaking of, there's a picture of our game right here. This is the game I was talking about earlier. There's me with my Cowboy Bebop t-shirt on. Bada bing, bada boom. But yeah. So yeah, that's who you're talking to when it comes to the hobby here, you know. We're all some big ass nerds up in this here. So there you go. There you go. Calgar's Papa Smurf and Rowboat Girly Man as Grandpa Smurf. Real Godzilla Ned. All the detail, that's crazy. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Picking out the details is part of the fun. It's that phase of painting where like it really starts to come to life when you start, like when you finish laying out base coats and now you can just like start picking out all the little details. Moving out of what we know as the ugly duckling phase. It's purely a mental thing, but like almost every miniature painter I know can attest to like having that moment when they're painting their minis and they're like, this looks terrible, this is the worst thing I've ever done in my life, I should quit. But really that's just like the first step towards something really great most of the time, you know. You just gotta push past that awkward like sort of teenage phase of your miniature painting process. Yeah, I know, right? They are all so skilled. They are all so skilled. I am happy to be in their company. Because everyone, especially like having, you know, everyone here to like provide tips and tricks too, it's always really fun. It's a great place to it's a great space for swapping knowledge, you know? Especially because like Ultralord, oh my god, there I go, fucking doing it again. Poster Boy has been painting Warhammer for like, god, I think what, 15 years you told me the other day or something like that? And Nikki's also been painting for a pretty long time too. And I think Godzilla, you said you started like what, 2 or 3, maybe 4 years ago? Remind me, dogs, I completely forgot. Point is, everyone else here has been painting for like, for a pretty long time, so... Everyone's got lots of experience and best practices to share, which is dope, because we can all share it with each other. Ultra Poster Lord Paints. Oh my god, you cracked me up. It's been 4 years, that's what I thought, okay. I would say people would describe me as incredibly talented. Amen to that, brother. Okay, get this shoulder pad, get this elbow right here. Get the back side of the armor, get his butt right here, perfect. Bada bing, bada boom, okay. Okay. Like, in fact, it was Nikki here who actually put me on to this technique that I'm looking forward to learning more about in the future, called volumetric lighting or volumetric highlighting. Which, if you paid attention to his Space Marines I had up on screen, he told me that's the technique he used to highlight all of them, to layer all of them. So that's definitely something I want to try for my miniatures in the future, because it looks gorgeous. It's such a great effect, you know. Definitely worth learning, so I can put that into my repertoire of techniques. I love learning new painting techniques. It can be hard at first, but it's really, really fun. Like the most recent one I learned was this one called non-metallic metal, which is where you paint metal objects without using metallic paints, basically. So there's the non-metallic and the non-metallic metal for you right there. I'm gonna leave this. This is gonna be left not blue, because that looks like a spine. I want to pick that out in a different color, I think. Yeah, we're gonna pick that out in a different color, so I'm gonna leave that center part alone, but we're gonna go ahead and do the rest of this in blue. Nikki is my goat, not gonna lie. I can't tell you how techniques work and such, but he's a better painter than I. Oh yeah, 100%. No, Nikki is the goat for sure. Nikki is the GOAT, and one of the best people ever to go to for advice on painting, and motivation too. And motivation, I must say, as well. I still haven't forgotten, Nikki, you know, way back when I first started this channel, when you reached out after like my first live stream or whatever it was, and that message you sent, that really stuck with me, man. That really meant a lot to me, and I really appreciate that, you know. Because here we are, closing out 2023, and we are still here. Still here doing the whole content creation thing. I paint so much it's mostly just practice. True, true. Yeah, you really be out here in the mines, man. That's true. That is true. You are out here in these mines. Nikki, more like Nick Goat. Yeah, exactly. Period. Point blank. Let's see. I'm gonna very carefully pick out the armor surrounding the teeth here, because the teeth are gonna be a bone color, but I don't want them to get blue. So we're gonna make sure we dance around that. Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine natural sight. Oh, I need to get the front part of this other leg right here too. Uh-oh. There we go. Best Tyranid to have as a roommate? Good question. Let me think. Best Tyranid to have as a roommate. Oh, there's so many to pick from. Hold on. I have a response to this. I gotta think. I have a couple of models that are my favorites, but I'm trying to think like who would make the best roommate. Well, okay, I'll say this. My favorite Tyranid model is the Trigon. The Trigon is my favorite Tyranid model, so I would love to have it as a roommate. However, I think the best roommate to have is probably a Ripper's a good choice. My take is going to be the Pyrovore, because free heating, you save on utility bills. You know what I'm saying? He can keep the apartment warm by himself, so you know it's all good. Not a threat to your life. I feel like every Tyranid is a threat to your life no matter what, so I feel like we have to assume in this scenario that for some reason your Tyranid roommate is not an immediate threat to your well-being. Gene Stealer. Why do you say Gene Stealer, Godzilla Nerd? Gene Stealer if you're related. Let's see. Yeah, I guess you get to have lots of purple friends. Very fair. Both are very valid points. Both are very valid points. Oh, that was the handle to the knife right there. Okay, I gotta go back and fix that. I didn't mean to paint that blue. That's okay though, because if I was gonna make the knife handle like a brown or a black anyway, so since that color's so dark, that's gonna cover that up very easily, so we don't have to worry too much about that. You could have lots of purple friends that may or may not be in a cult. Or multiple cults. Multiple Gene Stealer cults, even. Oh, GSC. What an army. Certainly one of the armies of all time. Gonna refresh our blue here. BBL painting looks great. Thank you. Thanksgiving must be hell for them. I know that's right. I know that is right. You are absolutely right about that, Ham. Oh, hold on. I just noticed something on this model over here that I neglected. I was gonna fix that real quick. I'm gonna paint this hand a little bit more thoroughly. See, sometimes I just make like a passing glance at one of my models and I'm like, oh, there's a mistake I made earlier. Time to fix it real quick. And I do. And that's mini painting for you right there. But hey, that's just mini painting. Maybe the Warhammer 40k was the friends we made along the way. Don't you forget about me. Credits rolling down the screen. let's see here. Almost done with armor based coats on all these. These bones are going to be orange. Let's see, bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, the paints are behaving very nicely today too, I must say. Getting that little bit of water mixed in on the wet palette actually came in kind of clutch because it's getting the paint watered down to a very nice consistency. See, one of the things you have to sort of avoid when painting in this style is a little effect known as tea staining, which is basically where like the paint will, because it's either because you let it pool up or maybe because it's not quite thin enough, will just kind of like pull up and stain on random parts of the model, and kind of unless it's what you're going for, it can kind of make your model look just a little bit worse than it could. So generally you want to avoid tea staining. I try my best to avoid it unless I'm going for that effect deliberately. So the where is that other one with the pack? Oh no, this is the one with the pack that looks like that. Okay, never mind. No, we're gonna leave this top part bronze, because really ultimately, like, more my personal philosophy when it comes to like things you should and shouldn't do, it's like there's no such thing to me as like or like my personal definition of like a mistake or like a bad look, quote unquote bad looking model, is very, very narrow, and that like there's like very specific things you have to do for a model to look bad, so to speak. And like ultimately, like there's not like a right way or a wrong way to deploy a technique, in my opinion. There's just the difference between what you want to do and what you actually did. And I guess it's just generally a question of like how well can you make it look like you meant to do that the entire time. It's about making, I guess it's generally just about like making choices, and like if the choice doesn't like pan out, I'm avoiding this very poorly, but like if the choice doesn't pan out how you thought it would, what you decide to do after that, that's where like the artistry comes into play. Because see, like my whole philosophy is that like it's very it's like when you go online to like the Warhammer 40k to the Games Workshop website, and you see like the models that are painted by like the professionals, you might think to yourself like, wow, those look so cool, I want my models to look just like that one day. And you know what, with enough hard work and determination, you can get your models to look like that. But the truth is, that's not the only way for a model to look nice. You know what I'm saying? There are 1,000,001 different ways that are as unique to as the people that that paint them. And so part of what like my sort of, I guess, mission, my intent for this channel, for this space, is for this to be a space where people can feel as though they can bring their own creativity to the table when they go to paint, and feel more confident in their own choices, and sort of like, I guess, deprogram themselves from the idea that it's always got to look like the box art. Because the truth is, it really does not. In fact, I'd argue that in some cases, the box art, worse than some of the miniatures I've seen painted by, people on their own. Really. Like, I do not prefer the box art in every single case. Like, best example of this, in my opinion, is the army, the Adeptus Custodes. They're like the Emperor Mankind's like bodyguards, right? If you're familiar with like celebrity news and whatnot, it's the army that Henry Cavill, the guy that plays Geralt and Superman, that's the one that he plays, right? And I was never going to collect Adeptus Custodes for one very specific reason. I hated their gold armor so much. I thought it looked horrid. I was like, ew, no thanks. Next army, please. This was back when I was choosing my first army. But then one day I was sitting down to eat lunch and I just randomly thought like, oh shit, you know, I could just paint them a different color if I ever wanted to. And then I was like, ooh, now I kind of want some, because now I have an idea for a paint scheme that I really want to try out. And that eventually, hold on, give me 1 second. There's going to be another show and tell type of moment right here. I just gotta just do this real quick. And then I eventually, let me roll over here and grab this real quick. Came up with, oh, there's so much further than I thought. It's okay, hold on. Here we go. Got one right here. I eventually came up with this color scheme for them. This sort of bluish silver. The bluish tinge to it doesn't really show through quite as well over the camera. Maybe it does in some places, but yeah. This is what I ultimately decided to go with for my Adeptus Custodes, and I actually really like this color scheme. I haven't painted Adeptus Custodes in like well over a year. Like this is well over a year old at this point. But I definitely want to get back to them at some point in the future and paint more of these, especially now that I'm a much better painter than I was a year ago when I painted this model for the first time. So yeah. Just wanted to show that off real quick. How are we doing on time? It is 8:44 p.m. Cool. Terrific. Alright, so that should do it for all the armor-based coating, if I'm not missing anything. Doesn't look like I am. Alright, let's move on to the next part, which is we are going to now paint all of the bone-colored items, which are going to be the teeth, if applicable, any teeth and any tabards and whatnot dangling off the armor as well, any capes, all that jazz. That's all going to be our bone color. Official box art makes people think their armies have to be those colors, but some of the best paint jobs I've seen are very different from those exactly. That they not only that they have to be that color scheme, but also that they have to be painted like in that style. Like the overall aesthetic has to match what you see on the website. It really does not. It really does not. You know, if you want to like, you know, make your if you want to make your models look like antique toys, if you want to make them look like cel-shaded graphics, like say like something out of Borderlands, for example, if you want to make them look like something out of like a classic Mickey Mouse cartoon, something like that, you know, you can go for it. There are no wrong answers here. Low-key, the Thousand Suns are just about the only 40k army I like the default paint job of. Valid. I'm trying to think of an army I like the default paint job of. An army I like the default paint job of in Warhammer 40k. I'm gonna need a minute to think about that one. Let me think. Space Marines kind of don't count in my opinion because they're all just like mostly for the most part they're just monochromatic. They're all just in monochromatic suits of power armor, and I missed one of the gauntlets on this boy, so I got to go back and paint that. We're gonna bring up this tabard with some highlights later on, I think. Late for this response, but trust me, when I will definitely be asking questions. My figurine isn't coming for another month or two, but I will need advice when I do get it. Absolutely, Ham. I got you, fam. When it is time, we will all be right here. And feel free to reach out over Discord, fam, if you ever have any questions of me. I got you. I don't have my own Discord server yet. Me and Ham were in a different Discord server for E, actually, who y'all know from times that E has popped into this stream. E, of course, is another fantabulous content creator who I admire very much. I saw a beautiful purple Eldar army at the last tournament I played in. They were kind of the Kitsune theme too, with the characters all having a fought. Ooh, that's really nice. That sounds really nice, actually. Oh my god. Oh, here's one. This is kind of, I might not have gotten it. Okay, I'll check. I am so sorry, Ham. I will check for that. For some reason, I don't get notified when people DM me on Discord. I gotta see if I can change those settings. There's probably someone who was bothering me in the DMs like years ago and maybe turn off those notifications. I will be sure to turn those back on so that way I don't miss my messages from like people like you, fam. I'm so sorry. Watch, I bet you that was like the entire reason why you popped in the stream and be like, hey, doofus, you missed my DM. No, I'm kidding. I kid. But I am sorry though that I missed your DM, Ham. I will be sure to get to that as soon as possible. Definitely did not mean to miss your message. So sorry. It's a Discord thing sometimes. I see. God damn it, Discord. Maybe stop focusing so much on Discord Nitro and start focusing more on improving the shit that's wrong with your app. Maybe. Just maybe. Just a thought. Just a little thought. That's just a thought I wanted to share, huh? Sorry, I had to do the Mickey Mouse voice, y'all. I had to. I saw the opportunity, and I took it. And took it, I did do. Here we go. Fantabulous, you're pretty fantabulous yourself, Kime. Aw, thank you, Blue. I appreciate that. No, those are just metal balls. Oh no, there's one skull. No, but that's like a metal skull though. Okay, we'll leave that one alone. That's gonna be painted in the next color. Okay, I think that's all the bone colored stuff on this guy. Moving on to the next one. Actually, let me open up Disc real quick. Make sure I can identify this for later. Gosh darn it. Here it is, right here. Yep, I didn't get a notification here because we're not friends on Discord. Well, I just sent you a friend request so we can fix that. Oh, this is a very interesting miniature. Yeah, I have thoughts on this. 4 inches. We can work with 4 inches. Yes. It looks like this unpainted. Let's see. Where do I even start? I know I need to press remember how this is about real paper. I need something special. What kind of supply should I get? Oh yeah. I got hella advice in this regard. Yes. I will definitely be reaching out. Oh my gosh, was that the real Mickey Mouse? No. God no. No. I could never. 20,000 likes now. Do this for the entire stream, huh? No, I won't. Please, you guys, please. Please don't do that to me. Please don't do that to me. Anyway, yes, Ham, I will share all I know and then some with you. For sure, homie. I got you. That's a nice looking miniature. That is a very nice looking miniature. I am gonna actually do this sort of metallic tabard. I thought I was gonna do this as a different color, but I actually want this to be blue as well. So I'm gonna put this as blue. I'm gonna make that blue. There we go. I like the blue. Start getting used to those redeems, Kai. Mickey will be coming back if I do that voice request. Shoot. Oh, you know what? Actually, you know what, Ham? I am gonna write that down actually, because I've been like subconsciously, while I've been like sitting here painting my brain, I have so many tabs open in my brain right now. It's ridiculous. I've been thinking about like ideas for like Twitch stream and stuff. Isn't Mickey public domain this coming year? Good question. He should be. The question is Disney going to let that happen? I feel like they're not going to. I feel like they're going to try and lobby for yet another change in copyright law to make it so that that won't be the case. But I'm gonna look into that right now, actually, because actually I'm very curious about that. For those, if you don't know, y'all, a big like Disney in general is really like the shaper of copyright law in the United States. So much of what we now have today in terms of copyright law is because of Disney's lobbying to protect Mickey Mouse basically, and a lot of their other characters, but definitely like the big man himself primarily and chiefly. So yeah, him going public is actually, him going into the public domain is actually pretty huge. Let me see. Let's see. Let's look that up. I'm curious. Wow. Wow. Okay. I found a Polygon article that says, headline, Mickey Mouse really enters the public domain in 2024. Disney's mouse mascot isn't the only thing open to the public next year. Okay, what else we got? Mickey and Minnie. Tigger. Oh yeah, because Winnie the Pooh entered the public domain a couple years ago. Okay. Wow. That's crazy. Huh. Dang. Alright. Mickey's actually going public. That's crazy. I literally never thought I'd see the day. But Mickey Mouse entering the public domain in 2024. Hey, we're gonna paint the best miniature that's ever been painted. I just know it. And with Kime's help, it's impossible to fail. You are too kind, Blue. I appreciate you. Okay, where am I? I think that's all the bone colored stuff for this guy. Okay, moving on. Can I get a boneless pizza with a 2-liter Coke? There's a vintage meme for you. If you know, you know. Okay. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Okay, we got like real skulls and we got fake skulls on here. So I think the real skulls are going to be the bone color. Fake skulls are going to be the metal color when we get to that later. The reason why I'm doing this color now is because it's so light and I don't want other colors to other darker colors to sort of contaminate it. Like actually what actually kind of ended up incidentally happening right here with this boy, with this lad. Generally with contrast slash speed paint type of paints, it's generally best to work with your lightest colors first and then work into your darker colors. So yeah, that is what we are generally doing, with the exception of the blue being our base coat for all over, wanting to get that down just so that we don't have to worry about messing up in the opposite direction later on. It's kind of the idea, kind of the vibe with these guys. So yeah. This is another one of my favorite paints in this speed paint collection too. This is Pallid Bone by the Army Painter. Also, can I just say, and I think I've pointed this out in the past, but just in case I haven't, one of my favorite things about Army Painter, what they do now is they put like a literal interpretation of the color right here. So you can say you can see it says pale yellowish brown right here on the bottom. That way you have a better idea of what the color actually is. Because let me tell you something, Ham, when it comes to shopping for colors, and you'll probably encounter this once you start looking on your own for the paints that you want, it can be kind of hard to figure out exactly what the color is, because the name on the bottle is kind of like an abstractification of the of what the color actually is. Like Dragon's Breath, for example. This is a kind of an extreme example, but like a color can be labeled like Dragon's Breath and you're like, okay, what the fuck color is that? What color is Dragon's Breath? I've never seen a dragon before. I don't know what color their breath is. I didn't even know breath could have color. And so I really appreciate Army Painter making things a little bit more accessible by providing a literal interpretation of the color on the bottle. Yeah, I was wondering that too. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I brought it up. Because that is actually a pretty important thing. It can be, especially because like a lot of paint shopping is done online for people, especially if they don't have like a hobby store near them or like a game store near them that carries paints that are designed for miniatures. Or, you know, oftentimes if you do have one near you, it probably only carries Games Workshop's own brand, Citadel, this brand right here, which is a fine enough brand, but the truth is there are better options out there. And if you are shopping for those better options, I'd say like maybe 7, maybe almost 8 times out of 10, you'll be shopping for them online. So you won't be able to like test them out for yourself before buying. And so it's important to be very careful and to sort of examine everything as best as you possibly can before making your purchase. The person who names these paints needs a raise. No, for real. For real, we got what? We got Hive Dweller Purple. Oh, Ultra Lord, I don't know if I answered your question earlier, but Tyranids. I don't know if this is necessarily like a fair pick, but Tyranids are my favorite army in terms of like their default color scheme. I really like the High Fleet Leviathan color scheme for Tyranids. I just got a hot tip about a store that sells Vallejo. I'm gonna go tomorrow. I'm fully planning on spending $100. Word. Yeah, Vallejo is literally the example I was thinking of about a brand that's hard to find in person. Vallejo is my favorite brand. Here's what it looks like right here, by the way, Ham. Here's one of my Vallejo colors. This is Deep Sky Blue from Vallejo, the model color line. And yet, like, barely any stores, no store here in the city carries, well, there are a couple stores that carry Vallejo, but they carry the game color line, which I don't really like as much as the model color line. The colors are a bit too like cartoonish for me, and there are also fewer of them. I prefer the model color line, by and large, but no one really carries it anywhere around here, which is annoying. So yeah, but yeah, Vallejo's like the chief example of what I was thinking of. Nikki, you read my mind. I am very excited for you that you found that you got a lead on a store that sells it near you. That's exciting. Definitely got to let us know how that goes. My local store stocks most big brands. Oh, that's awesome, Godzilla. And what other brands other than like Citadel and Army Painter do they have? And then Ham says that's the only paint I've seen yet, and in a very limited color ranges too. Yeah. That is fair. Chimera has to come back to the DMV. Yep, exactly. Whenever I'm home in Virginia, I'll either link up with Poster Boy or I'll go on my own, and I'll go to like all the hobby stores down there because you know, it's Virginia. There's a lot more space for hobby stores down there in general, so they're a lot bigger. So they have a hell of a lot more paint to choose from. Because like up here in the city, my only options are really Army Painter, which is great. Army Painter, Vallejo Game Color, Citadel, of course, because there's literally a Warhammer store here. And then one store here in the city, the Complete Strategist on 33rd Street, if you're ever in town, carries Reaper paints. Reaper's an American brand, which ironically enough is actually pretty hard to find here in America, at least. Of all the stores I've ever been to, and I've been to quite a few hobby stores at this point over the past 2 years, the Complete Strategist is literally the only one I've seen carry Reaper paints. So yeah. There you go. That's my take on that. Oh, and speaking of other fun names, Blue. Speaking of other fun names, we got Nuclear Sunrise. How nice. How lovely. We have Princess Pink as well. Very lovely. A very light pink right there for you. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We're gonna get to those colors later. They have Vallejo and a few more. Nice, Godzilla Ned. Very nice. But Ham, part of what I'm going to show you though, when we have our talk about all this, is I'm going to show you my favorite website to buy paints from. Gotta love those Nuclear Sunrises in the morning. I know that's right. I will send you a link to my favorite storefront to buy paints from. This is the website I go to whenever I need something, whenever I'm out of something and I definitely need it, like sooner rather than later. This is like the one place I am guaranteed to find it most of the time. So I will definitely send you that link. I think I've mentioned it on stream before. It's that one hobby shop out of Texas, Lionheart Hobbies. I think I've mentioned before in the past, like how I purchased a lot of pale sand from them before. Back when I needed, actually just any of it, because I didn't have any pale sand in my collection at that point. The Lionheart Hobbies came in clutch because they had it fully in stock, and I ordered 2 bottles from them, and they arrived lickety split. They actually arrived in like 2 days, which was dope. You think I have him? Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Make sure this under part here is still colored nicely. There we go, there we go, there we go. There we go, get the teeths. Boom, boom, boom. I love picking out the teeth. Whenever the armor has teeth in it, I love picking that detail out especially. It just looks so cool. I love it. I love these models. They're so cool. We have a whole second squad of these to paint too after this one. That one I'm going to paint entirely offline so we can move on to a different unit so y'all can see something else from this army that's not just more of the same thing. And also so that I can maintain my own sanity by not having to paint the same exact thing all over again. Yeah, we're going to go back and we're going to highlight especially this bone color. Just make it pop a little bit more, make it look a little bit more bony. For sure, for sure. I gotta get the back side of the tabard here too. There we go, bada bing. And also, during the highlight step, we're gonna use that as an opportunity to cover up all of our various mistakes we've made as well. As stealthily as possible. Yeah, of course. I say stealthily as if I'm not live streaming to literally like 7 people right now who can all see exactly what I'm doing at all times. Or, you know, they can see it as long as I decide to, you know, remember that I need to be in frame. Right, guys? Christian stay in frame challenge. Difficulty level impossible. Oh. Alright. Alright, that should be good. Oh, gee, the best sunrise. I didn't see you said that, Blue. You're so funny. Okay. So that part's done now. I think we should move on to the purples and the pinks next. Yes, I think purples and pinks is going to be the way. So we'll start with the lightest pink, and we'll move on down to purple. So we're going to start off with our Princess Pink from before. Then we're going to move on to Familiar Pink. This is this is like easily top 5 favorite colors in my entire collection. I love this color. I love using this on a whole variety of things. This color looks very sick. So we're going to move on to Familiar Pink, and then we're going to layer on top of that some Hive Dweller Purple. And you'll see how this all comes together here very shortly, because I'm actually going to do, I think, all 3 steps here very quickly in succession on this shoulder pad. See, because you see you got these like little demon heads popping out of various parts of these models. I like to do these as sort of purple. I like to give these their own like little pink purpley type moment. I'll show you what I mean here in a little bit. Just give me a second to shake this up. Lighter colors that are closer to like a white, like this one for example, require that I mix them up pretty well, because usually whiter paints tend to be chalkier. So I definitely want to make sure this is mixed up very good, very well before we pour anything out. There we go. Perfect. I'm actually going to pour out all 3 of the colors we need so I can move between them in quick succession. I'm not going to necessarily try for like a perfect wet blend, but I do want the colors to be blended together. This one should be good to go. Even if only ever so slightly. God, I love that so much, that vivid pink. Love it, love it, love it. And then we need our purple. Okay. Oh, Godzilla It, if you're still watching, you'll be happy to know that over the holidays I actually ordered some creature caster models for this army specifically that are going to act as demon prince proxies. So I'm very excited to get to paint those on stream. Those are definitely going to be a very fun project. Thank you for pointing me toward Creature Caster, because I absolutely love all those models so much. They are so cool. I think I figured out the Reaper thing, the Reaper paint thing, by the way. Oh, do tell, Poster Boy. Do tell. Do divulge. Do divulge. Here we go. Get that pink on there. Nice, nice, nice. We get it on these tips over here as well. Cool, cool, cool. I'm pretty sure distributors aren't allowed to stock the paint. Really? Why? Uh-oh. My one pink is running into my other pink. That's okay though. We have plenty of time to still work with everything. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. There we go. That's another layer down. Gonna crawl that up this way so much. Somewhat, I mean. Like, stores need an account with Reaper to order the— oh, yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. So I guess just a lot of stores don't have that account with them. Hence the lack of availability of Reaper Master Series paints. But most stores use distributors to buy the Reaper minis, so it's not worth it to have their own account with Reaper. That, I see. That all makes sense taken together. Hold on. There we go. Just gonna spread that out, blend that into the pink just ever so slightly. Ever so slightly, daily and nightly, and little wings, but everything's changed. I recently restarted watching, I recently started rewatching Adventure Time after I finished Fiona and Cake. That show really is excellent, I must say. Let me actually zoom in a little bit so y'all can see what I'm doing here a little bit better. But yeah, you see, if you look at the little pink head on this guy's shoulder, you can see the effect we're going for by combining all the three colors that I mentioned before. Kind of make it look like it's like poking out. Or kind of like accentuate the fact that it's poking out of the shoulder. Oh, having my camera be mirrored on OBS is so confusing. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Y'all get the idea. Y'all get the gist. And get that refocused. Perfect. I don't know if it's Reaper blocking the distributors or the distributors not being interested, and there may be a pretty large buy-in for Reaper paints. Oh, yeah, that would make sense because they don't make as much of them. Like they don't put out the same volume as like obviously not as much as Citadel or not even like Vallejo, so that would make sense. And you know, the Complete Strategist as a store is like, they're so old school that like they would be like one of the few, the proud, that have an account with Reaper themselves. Here we go. Oh, this dude looks sick. Oh yeah, okay. This dude's face is freaking massive. And my paint fully ran together. That is okay though. That's not actually the biggest deal. We will be fine either way. Always important to remember to breathe when painting. It is never so deep that you should forget to breathe, that you should neglect to breathe, I mean. Yeah, there we go. A little bit more familiar pink on here, I think. Here we go. Nice. And this one has visible teeth, so we'll paint those a bone color too, as precisely as we can, because they are pretty tiny, but they are visible. I won't stress this too much. There we go. Got that. Okay. Oh, there's this bug-looking thing over here too. So let's actually do that as well in our pink color. Okay, there we go. Oh, almost forgot a little bit right there. Perfection. Very nice. Just gonna cover that part up right there. Oh, those are all grenades. Okay, perfect. And I forgot a part of the armor, so let me go back and correct that. Shouldn't be too hard because we haven't worked on that weapon at all. So it shouldn't be too hard to cover this up. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Just covering up a few more imperfections here. Okay, there we go. Whew. While I am focusing on all this, I do want to take yet another moment real quick to just say another quick thank you to all of you for tuning in. I really appreciate all y'all's support, as always. Don't forget to leave a like on the stream, too, while you're here, because of course it goes a long way in helping to support the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't already, too. That way you know exactly when we go live, whenever I upload a new VOD, whenever I upload a new short, right here to this YouTube channel. Because even though we are going to be making a brief trip over to Twitch for a little while, this channel will still be here. It will still be here, and I will still be here. So definitely worth still tuning in, all the same. Speaking of my dry ass throat, I need to take a water break here shortly because I have not taken one such break yet. Because I have been in the zone this entire time. Yes. Immaculate. Okay, cool. Here we go. As we say in the sewers, hydrate. You right. Oh god, you're so right, Ham. God, it's so sacrilegious of me that I haven't even freaking hydrated yet. Oh my god. E is gonna kick my ass. Hydrate before I dehydrate. You're so right. You're so real. One moment, please. We're actually doing pretty good on time. I was thinking before that I might have taken a little bit too long with the armor base coating. But actually we're doing pretty alright. Water. I love it so much. Okay. What is this? All right. Okay. I'll do this purple, I think, because why not? Huh, this guy actually doesn't have as many weird bits and baubles on him as his counterparts. Wow, look at you, Mr. Normal. Congratulations on being normal, I guess. I think I will give him a little purple tentacle moment right here. Yeah. There we go. Need a color in. I need more tidal wave. I need more tidal wave violet. Tidal wave! Violet! Where the fuck are you? No, I'm kidding. You're right there. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside me. I was listening to the Little Shop of Horrors soundtrack earlier today because I saw this meme made by like oh god, what's his name? His like homeboy from the Try Guys, that his like comedy band that he's a part of. They've like uploaded a reel / TikTok where they were making fun of how Amazon Prime is going to be adding an ad-supported tier soon for streaming. By the way, Amazon Prime Video is adding a freaking ad-supported tier soon, which I'm just like, as if we don't give these people enough money already, Jesus Christ. And then the non-ad tier is gonna be like $3 more a month. Ugh. Anyway, and so they were making fun of them, and they like did like this sort of like Little Shop of Horrors themed bit, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. I actually saw that show recently. I saw that like what's it been like? I think 3 weeks or so at this point since I saw it. Oh hello, yes, that is me. Oh, you're talking about the me looking for tidal wave before. I was like, did you forget that fast? Did you forget about your new identity that fast, Blue? Oh, you know what? I said I was gonna color this spine. Actually, no. To make it consistent, this is gonna actually be orange. I'm doing all the bony bits orange and yellow. Never mind, I thought I panicked. For the right reason there, but I panicked for no reason there. Same panic, different disco. I totally didn't forget. I was like, what? For a full... Oh, Blue. You crack me up, bud. Keith, yes, that's a see. I'm not. I was never really like a big Try Guys guy. I was never on that. I didn't spend that much time on that corner of YouTube. I only recently started watching their content, really, and really only whenever it pops up in my recommended. So I don't know all their names by heart. But yes, Keith, I do know his name because he has the same name as my father. That is, Amazon doesn't think $100 a year isn't enough. No, literally, it's like, is this not enough for you, Jeffrey? Have we not given you everything at this point? All right, next colors we're gonna pull up here. We're gonna pull up our, where is Nuclear Sunrise? We're gonna pull up Nuclear Sunrise, and we're also gonna pull up Ancient Honey here next to be used on all the bone parts and all the random tongues and stuff and all that jazz. So we're gonna pour actually Ancient Honey first, copious amounts of this, just like that one lady in the vine with the vodka, where she's like 2 shots of vodka, pours half the fucking bottle into the cup. Golly, that's one of my favorite vintage vines right there. Like, lady, do you even know what you're doing with all that? Clearly she didn't. But yeah, no, it's like ridiculous, Ham. It's ridiculous how, I think it's so ridiculous, not just because, you know, the whole initial attraction of streaming was that you got to watch your favorite shows without all the commercials, and now they're adding all of the commercials. And I'm just like, this is so freaking silly. Like, hold on, I gotta organize my, where did I put my, oh, there it is, right. I was looking for my paintbrushes literally in my beard, and I just think it's so silly how we've gotten to this point now where streaming services are slowly but surely starting to add ad-supported tiers, and it's like, why do we even watch you at this point? Especially Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has no goddamn right, because they only have, as the video points out that I mentioned before, they only have 3 good shows. They have 3 hit shows on there. Unless you're like an American Dad, in which case it's like 5, because then you add like the Jack Ryan and the Jack Reacher shows into that mix too, and then you get 5. That's 5 shows. Like, look, don't get me wrong, I think most of the stuff that Netflix puts out nowadays ain't the best, but they have more than 3 hit shows. I will give them this, they have more than 3 hit shows, right? And they also have like a lot of different like legacy programs too, like Survivor and Big Brother and stuff like that on that platform that helps to keep it afloat as well. I mean, I'm mad at Netflix for jacking up their prices for separate reasons, especially if they're gonna like take away password sharing at the exact same time. But oh my god, all these paints are just flowing right into one another today, which is not necessarily intentional, but it's okay, we're done with the purple, so I'm not too concerned about the contamination. You've been watching Reacher, it's pretty good. Yeah, I've actually heard it's pretty good. I've been meaning to check it out. The one Jack Reacher movie they made like years ago was only okay, I thought, but I've heard good things about the show. It's nice to see that sort of got like a second life in TV show format, as I suspect would be the case with like many different movies that kind of flopped in the past. You know, it can be very, unless you're looking for it, it can be very hard to tell. Well, sometimes it can be pretty easy, but often it's very hard to tell when like a show or a movie or whatever other media is just made in the wrong medium, you know? So yeah, good on them for getting a sort of second lease on life on that front. For realsies. Okay, that'll be covered up later. Yeah, nice. This guy's looking really nice. So now that we have our 3 main color blocks on the model, you can see it's really starting to pop. We are certainly moving out of that ugly duckling phase for this model, at least. Netflix is getting so ridiculous. No, like, I'll never forget this one night, like a couple months ago at this point, where I like sat down on my couch to watch, what did I want to watch? I wanted to watch, what was I trying to watch on Netflix? Oh, I was trying to watch Alice in Borderland season 2, and then all of a sudden I get to the sign-in screen, and then I see this notification like this device is not part of your Netflix household. I'm like, the hell?
Now, I can still watch Netflix on my PC and on my laptop just fine on the family account. So like my entire family, we all four of us, we share an account. But I cannot watch it on my Xbox anymore. It seems like they implemented like the password sharing restrictions much faster on consoles in general than they did with any other flavor of platform. And I suspect the reason why they wanted to focus down on the console front first is because they're soon adding video games as an option to stream on Netflix. So like when they announced when the GTA 6 trailer dropped a couple weeks ago, Netflix announced that you'll be able to play like the Grand Theft Auto 3 trilogy on Netflix starting in like 2024 or something like that. And so it would make sense to me why they would like want to crack down on password sharing on console, because that's the platform that people will be, you know, playing Grand Theft Auto on. Doesn't make it better in my opinion, not even remotely, but I can see why that's the tactic. Not that they, you know, disclose these things, so yet we're forced to, you know, guess for ourselves kind of what the dealio is. God forbid us gamers use our Netflix as part of a family account. No, right? Exactly. It's like, and like, you know, people travel and everything too, and it's just like, what? Let me VPN back to my home in Virginia just so I can watch freaking Singles Inferno? No, I'm kidding. I don't watch Singles Inferno. I've never seen it. I see it pop up on all the times. I watch so many like different Korean TV programs, but I've never actually seen Singles Inferno. I've never seen Singles Inferno. I need to pour more ancient honey because actually too much of it got contaminated before. I forgot that these paints have a lot of flow to them, so I gotta account for that when pouring them out on my wet palette. The palette that is wet. There's one tongue here. Okay. Pick that like that. And then we're going to now go into the orange again. Need more nuclear sunrise. Yeah, I definitely boofed up my wet palette tonight, but that's okay though. We are making it work. It would honestly not be worth it to go and try and like reload it right now because that just takes up way too much time. And this is a speed paint. You're creating a second art piece right there on that napkin. You are so right. You are very right, Blue. Yes, yes, yes. Because sometimes I get a little bit too much paint on the oh, missed a tentacle. I get too much paint on the brush sometimes, so I gotta like dab it off so that way I can have better control over what exactly it is I'm doing. Oh, we got some blue there before. That's okay. There we go. Any more tongues? Nope, moving on. Any more tongues? Any more bones? Not that I see. I did kind of miss a spot here earlier. Let me just... missed a spot in the pink phase earlier, so I just wanted to go back and cover that. Oh, this boy. Okay, I'm excited to do this one because I had this idea earlier. I'm going to do yellow here. Yellow's going to be up here. We'll transition to orange down here. Excuse me. Okay. How the heck... oh my god. How is this purple just getting into everything? It has now invaded the nuclear sunrise. Oh, you know what I just realized? It's not my desk necessarily that's tilted right now. I mean, it is, because it always is, because of what I mentioned earlier, but also my cutting mat here is also tilted because my airbrush holder is propping it up from the underside, so I missed that before. Kinda, sorta. So I need to kind of adjust for that real quick. And we will. In like 2 seconds. Okay, I got some Pro Acryl Orange sitting in the corner. It's gonna help us do some light repair work on this section here in a little bit. Oh, I gotta do the entire backside over here too. Okay, okay. Need more ancient honey. God, how did that get so scuffed? I don't even understand. I mean, even accounting for the tilt, it shouldn't have run that quickly, or really at all, but I guess I must have just got too much. It must just be the water content of my wet palette. It just must be too high tonight. I did kind of rush to get it loaded up before stream, because I was busy doing other stuff right before stream, so that's probably on me. It's all good, though. It's all good, though. None of this is really impacting the quality of our models, at least, so I am not upset. And soon we will be done with this particular wet palette sheet anyway, and we never have to think about this unfortunate happenstance ever again after the fact, so... There we go. Oh, almost missed tongue right here. There we go. Oh, there's a little sneaky bit of tongue sticking out right here as well. There we go. Nice. And I'm gonna finish this part off with some pallid bone. Because I realize there's actually like a bandage or something wrapped around this tentacle right here. So we're actually gonna just do this. Okay. Boom. Okay. Got horn there, and then we need to do boom, boom. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll remember it's on that guy right there. Okay, cool. Okay, where do I want to start? Let's start, first of all, painting his teeth right here. Perfect. And then where did I see that other tongue at? That was like on his side right here. Okay. Okay, cool. Boom. All right, moving right along here. Get some yellow down on this spine. Need more yellow. Here. Get the back side. Soak that up. Whenever you see me rapidly like trying to get the paint off my brush and the brush back onto the model, it's because I'm trying to unload the brush so I can soak up like some excess paint that got into an area that I did not want it to be in. I actually soaked up too much. I overcorrected that, so now let me just strike a balance. Go for something in the middle right here. There we go. Perfect. Whew. Crisis averted. I'm gonna layer on a little bit more orange because that's looking a little pale to me. And I gotta get the tongue here at the front. Nice. All right, last model for this color phase. I'm glad you're enjoying the art piece I am making on this napkin right here, Blue. It's very deliberate, I can assure you. This is all part of my artistic praxis. There's an SAT word for you right there. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. What time is it? 9:43? Cool, we are making good time. Is it possible to erase paint? Like diluting the area with water, or would that be too risky for the water to blot into other places? Good question. The answer is yes. If you are fast enough, it is very much possible to erase paint. All you gotta do is get your brush damp, tap it to the paint, maybe apply just like the slightest bit of gentle pressure, and it should just soak right up back into your brush. Rinse and repeat until the area is clear. Now, depending on your type of paint, it might start drying like immediately upon contact, at which point you will have like less time to get the paint off the model. But you know, if all else truly fails, you can always try like a concentrated application of isopropyl alcohol to the area. Now that's gonna lift up everything. So that's like the last resort type of option, really, when it comes to correcting mistakes. But generally speaking, you can either do that, or you can even like, you know, erase your mistakes, so to speak, by applying more paint, say by like reapplying your base coat, or maybe even a color from your priming layer on the area, and then just like starting over from like the base as well is another way to go about it. There are several ways to go about correcting your mistakes, and all of them are going to be more useful in certain situations than others. And it's all gonna depend on whether or not you're using you know, what type of paint you're using. Like with these speed paints, because they're so transparent and because they're so liquidy, I can use like the first method I described with like erasing it with your brush pretty reliably most of the time to correct my mistakes here. You know, fun fact actually, so you might have heard me mention that these are the 2.0 version of these paints. The original iteration of the Army Painter speed paints actually had this well, some people called it an issue, and then some like myself called it a feature, where they would reactivate immediately upon contact with water, no matter how long you left it on no matter how long you left it to dry on the model, but like, you know, you would put down like speed paint 1.0, and like 2 weeks later, even if you applied enough water to the area, it would just come right off. Now this was very useful for certain painting techniques, like wet blending, for example, directly onto the model. So for that reason, people actually quite liked that feature, and some people actually miss that feature now that it's gone from the 2.0 line. But others found it frustrating, because when they then tried to apply paint on top of 1.0 speed paint, if that paint had any amount of water in it, which it likely would, because you should always thin your paints, right? Even that would cause reactivation pretty much immediately, which is often not what those people would want in those situations. But Army Painter, they were very good. They took people's feedback. They took it very well. And now we don't have that reactivation aspect anymore. So, you know, we're all being chilling over here for the most part. Okay, let me think. How do I want to do this? We're gonna do the bronze bits next. I also need to have, there's my black. I need hardened leather. Where are you? That's satchel brown. Honestly, this will do. I need, where's hardened leather? Did I not keep? I usually keep it up toward the front. I usually keep my most used paints well within reach. That's golden armor. Golden armor. Oh, there's hardened leather right there. These are the two colors I like to use for like painting leather bits: satchel brown and hardened leather. very useful. These are hardened leathers, another one of my top 5 go-to paints in this collection. So right, let's start with all the metal bits first, because there are more of those to paint. So we need Talos bronze for that. And I need to be very careful where I place this on the wet palette, because if shit starts to run like it has been, that's going to be pretty bad for the rest of the paint on here. Which, again, most of it we don't really need anymore, but still, I would like to be careful anyway. So... yeah, the science behind the manufacturing of these paints is actually quite interesting, Ham. It's something I recommend you look up in your own time if you're ever curious to know more. The way paint is made is quite fascinating to me, and in fact, learning more about how paint is made has naturally helped me become a better mini painter. Because then whenever something goes wrong with them, I understand why. And I don't get as upset as I used to. You know? So yeah. Okay, there we go. Nice, and then we want this medallion to be Talos bronze as well. What's nice about, I discovered this during the last stream before, the one before I went on holiday, but applying the Talos bronze right on top of the tidal wave blue actually creates this like very nice sort of backdoor, this very nice backdoor sort of verdigris effect, oxidized copper effect on the model, which I think looks really nice. So I'm not even going to worry too much about getting full coverage on the parts that are blue that should be bronze, because it actually looks quite nice with this verdigris effect, this sort of backdoor verdigris effect that we've accidentally achieved. Ham says, you know, I would legitimately enjoy learning about how paints are made. I have a link for you then. I have a link for you then. I have a link to a video that I can share that explains how it's all done, because there's actually this one very popular hobbying YouTuber, Goobertown Hobbies, who actually has a PhD in chemistry as well as being a hobbyist. So yeah, he knows a thing or two about a thing or two. I want to see them make a batch of Satchel Brown. Word. I want to know if they have authentic princess making that pink. Oh my god. Real free range princess goes into the princess pink. I'm dead. Oh my god. You two are so funny. Let's see here. Missed part of the pink here, or the orange here. Actually, no, I want to see them make tidal wave because that's me, real. Did a princess make that pink? Ayo. Let's see here. Oh, we gotta get this bell on the back right here. Oh my god, Ham, prepare to be sick of me when I start DMing you about all this hobby shit, man. You are going to be so annoyed with me. I am so sorry in advance. I am so sorry in advance for the absolute onslaught of information that I'm about to unleash on you. I hope you can forgive me. Oh boy. I promise I will absorb all of it and I will be glad for it. Alright. I have a record of you saying that. You did say that in writing, so I will remember that. I will not be afraid to pull up the receipts later on, should anything change, so to speak. Free range princess. Golly. That sounds like some sort of like really like offbeat TikTok trend for some reason. Oh, TikTok. What a strange place to be. I really fell off with posting TikToks. I need to get back on that. I was feeling pretty burned out on TikTok, and also TikTok as a platform has just been evolving so rapidly. Not the princess TikTok. Oh no, no, never the princess TikToks, never. Although I legit don't have any idea what you're talking about. Please elaborate. Or if we're just talking hypothetically here. I think we're just talking hypothetically here, Blue. I think we are just talking purely hypothetically here. TikTok in general is such a wild place, yes, I agree. And yet somehow, some way, Twitter is still wilder. Somehow. Well, so have you heard of fairy talk? No, I have not heard of fairy talk. Do I want to have heard of fairy talk? Ham? Is this something that I will be a better person for knowing something about? Wait, is that real or did I make that up? Or I guess did Ham make that up? I've never had a TikTok and I don't think I'm going to start now. Yeah, smart. Smart. Stay out while you can. Stay out before TikTok consumes us all. Save yourself. Pace yourself before you erase yourself. Well, a bunch of people LARP being Fae people and they take it serious. Oh, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. That somehow does not surprise me in the slightest bit. I guess I should have known based on the title that that's exactly what it was. Seriously, they make costumes go out into the woods and explain their whole backstory, having a lifestyle and everything. So it's like being a furry almost. No, let me stop. Let me stop. We are not going down that rabbit hole right now. We are not going down that rabbit hole. Much love to the furry community, but we are not going down that rabbit hole right now. Furry, rabbit. Anyway. I'm so poetic. Anyway, yeah. I just realized I didn't paint the... Oh, no, there were no tubes to paint. There's a little bit of tubage to paint right here. Hold on. I missed some tubes here. I need to paint these real quick. Boom, okay, there we go. That sounds kind of cool, actually, as long as it doesn't get too serious. Yeah, I was gonna say, LARPing's fun. I used to do quite a bit of it back in the day with my friends in the woods. When I was like in middle school especially. We had this like Star Wars roleplay that we used to do. Oh my god, it got intense. Like that shit got dramatic. Oh my god. It's a miracle no one ever got like seriously hurt during like our lightsaber duels and shit. Cause man, like this is back during a point in my life where I was like still like vehemently shitting on the prequel trilogy. This is like before like it's sort of like redemption, not just in my own eyes, but also like in the eyes of like the wider culture. And like we were like, dang, our plot's way better than those stupid prequels. Like all the time. That's like we were so proud of ourselves for the story we came up with. It was pretty lit though. I don't remember the details of it, but I remember it being pretty fun to enact, so. Will it make me a better person for knowing this? No, but it will make you a better Fae. Theoretical. Oh my god. Wow, suddenly the world seems more colorful, and oh wow, my skin's clear, all because I learned about fairy TikTok. I feel like a better person. Well, Blue, I'm glad you feel like a better person. Me, I'm actually pretty net neutral, actually. I feel like I got away pretty scot-free from that one, so we are okay. We are okay. For now. I swear, if I get fairy talk content popping up on my FYP tonight after I hop off stream, I'm coming to your house, Ham. I'm coming to your house, and I am leaving behind cookies because you are a very nice person, and I would never do anything to harm you. Okay, where was I? Oh, is that another tongue? Is that more tongue? Did I miss? Thought I saw one more earlier too. Oh, this is a chain. This will be bronze as well. There we go. I feel like a better person, oh my god. Thanks, Kime. You can help yourself to the leftover roast while you're here. Nice. I love me a good roast. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. I've roast nipping at your nose. Tonight the music seems. A little bit of ooze coming out the pack here. Didn't notice that before. We'll make that orange. Where is that other tongue I saw? I saw one more. Ah, here you are. Perfect. We'll go ahead and make this bronze too. So I was always going to be bronze, so. Okay. Nice. These boys are really coming together. I'm really happy with the way these look. I'll show you all our progress once we get toward the oh, what kind of cookies can I have some? Sure, if you like chocolate chip. Hopefully no one here is allergic to chocolate or dairy. Look, call me basic, but chocolate chip, it's popular for a reason. It's because it is truly the most excellent cookie type. I was about to say chip type. We're not talking about chips. Oh, Ham, pay attention, because here, like, I'm about to do literally the exact thing I described to you earlier with, like, erasing paint and stuff. So see, I just got a little bit of water on the affected area. Made sure my brush was just damp. Not soaked, but damp. And then I just lifted straight up off the miniature. Chestnuts roasted on an open fire. Has anyone ever actually had those? I'm pretty sure like maybe my grandparents did, but like me personally, nah. I've never had roasted chestnuts. Now let me tell you something that's actually fire. Roasted pine nuts. You get your hands on some good roasted pine nuts and oh my god, you are going to be transported to another dimension of flavor that you did not know was even attainable in this mortal life of ours. And you will be enthralled. Yes, you probably will be practicing it a lot. It's one of the things I used to practice a lot too, because I had to back when I first started painting. Oh my gosh, but it's pretty easy to get the hang of. You won't be practicing it for very long. Before too long, you'll be using it. in a very practical way as well. Oh yeah, and I guess I didn't point out, yeah, this in the speed paint line there are also metallic paints like the one I'm using right now. I actually really like these. I really like the metallic paints. I would only use them in a speed painting context. I would never use them like outside of a speed painting context, but for what they are, for that task, pretty good. Flacco says roasted chestnuts are so bad. Really? Dang. Well, I feel like they should change the lyrics to the song then, if that's the case. Also, Flacco, you have to explain the context in which you actually managed to have some of those, because I feel like no one under the age of like 35 has ever actually had those. Are they? They don't sound the most appetizing, but I can't judge because since I never had them. Also, ooh, I love chocolate chip. Nice. They smell really good, but then the taste is not what you'd expect at all. Oh, I see. So it's more like, like going back to the song, it's like the appeal of chestnuts roasting on an open fire. You know, it might be the taste for some, but for most, it's the smell that they generate throughout the space, I guess. Kind of helping to sort of set the mood, set the vibe for the Yuletide. Warhammer 40k Dark, from the makers of Warhammer 40k Darktide comes the Warhammer 40k Yuletide expansion. That'd actually be kind of fun. Someone should either make that expansion or make like a mod or something. Featuring the Red Gobbo. And Magan Ra with the Santa hat. Like your model. Poster boy if you're still there. Your one Magan Ra that you have with the Santa hat on. The Darktide devs put out a heretic pyre for Christmas. Oh, that's nice. It's a fairly common street food in Turkey, and we kept seeing them on every corner. Oh, I see. I did not know that. I did not know that. That's cool. All right. Okay, just need to get the other shoulder pad there. Ooh, what time is it? It is 10:05. Okay, well, I don't want stream to run over. We still have quite a bit more detail on the individual models to go, but just to give us some sense of sort of finality of sort of having finished everything off, before I log off for the night, I will show you guys how I'm going to base these models before I buzz off to go and finish these all offline, so we're ready for our next project when we come back from the New Year celebrations. What color do I want to make the... Yeah, I think the Plague Spear here is just going to end up being bronze too, because why not? Wait, Flacco, when were you in Turkey? I feel like you've told this story before, but I don't remember when you said you were there. Or did like someone you know go to Turkey and bring them back or something? Spring break 2012. Oh, okay. Oh, so the year before I met you. Right. Flacco is another IRL friend of mine. We've been friends since 2012. Actually, we've been friends since 2012. Since the fall of 2012. When he came to my middle school in the 7th grade. One of the very few good things to happen to your boy in the 7th grade. 13 was not my year. 13 was not my year, y'all. Let me tell you something. 13, that was a rough year. That was very rough. I don't know anyone who had a good year at 13 years old. And if you did, more power to you. Could not be me, though. Could not be me. The historical data does not support such a theory. Does not support that thesis, I fear. That Cruel Angels thesis. No, stop. Before I get DMCA'd by fucking YouTube. Right there with you, per. Yeah, 13, not my year. Not my year. That's okay, it didn't have to be. I was literally 13. That's one thing I've gotten like really good at like telling myself whenever I like look back on like my younger self and like start to cringe immensely. I'm like, you know what? Younger me was not very smart, but that's okay. For the time, he didn't quite have to be. It wasn't as urgent then. And he didn't know as much as he knows now, so he can be forgiven for being kind of an idiot. Not kind of an idiot, for being an idiot. Oh, this guy looks great. I love the way this Plague Spear works. This bronze looks very nice here. Can't remember what I had for dinner last night. Safe to say I don't remember anything from being 13. Honestly, probably for the best. Probably for the best, Blue. I remember that was the last year someone caught me Naruto running on the playground, and we never made that mistake again. We never made that mistake again. Of course, I had done it before, because I was fucking weird, but that one time when I was 13 was just particularly punishing. I don't know. Anyway. Not the Naruto. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was that kid. I was that kid. I legit thought it made you run faster. But hey, on the bright side, at least before I started running track in middle school and then later high school, I had stopped doing that. So we stopped just before it actually mattered, right? Just before it actually started to matter. Imagine actually Naruto running at a track meet. That'd be crazy. Oh my god. Oh my god. I forgot that even happened. Holy shit. I forgot all about the Area 51 raid. Wow. A lot of life, a lot of events have transpired between now and the time of the Area 51 raid. I totally forgot about that. And Poster Boy, that was, if you're still there, that was on his birthday that year too. That was literally on his birthday back in what, 2019? Couldn't have been 2020. Yeah, it couldn't have been September of 2020. Not a Naruto run 4x1. Oh my god. Honestly, is there any science to prove that it doesn't make you run faster? Yeah, plenty. I'm pretty sure kinesthesiology probably disproves immediately that that is at all an efficient way to run, let alone fast. Okay. All right. What time is it? 10:11. Okay. Let me do the finishing touches on this model, because this is the test model, but there are a couple of finishing touches that this model still needs real quick, and I'm going to apply those, and then I'm going to show y'all how I plan on basing the rest of these models, and we're going to call it there. We're going to call it there for stream for this week, and we're going to be back next week. And I will reiterate one more time what the plan is for next week, just so you are all aware. Which reminds me, I need to remember on Monday to make announcement posts about all that, so that way I can remind everybody. Hey Siri, remind me on Monday to make an announcement post at noon.
Okay, I've added make an announcement post for Monday noon.
See, whenever I need to actually set a reminder on my phone, I never like just manually put it in. I always use Siri for it, because to me, the reminder interface on iPhone is just too clunky. It's too clunky. I don't like it. It's just way faster to just ask Siri. Siri, I know, right? It's just way faster to ask Siri to do it for you. And then go back in and make corrections if necessary. But oftentimes it's not necessary. Siri's gotten a lot better over the years, you know, so not a lot of comprehension errors. Okay, perfect. We finished the finishing touches on this model. So now let me show y'all how I plan on basing these. So we're gonna need our Doom Bull Brown for this one. I'm gonna shake this up and mix it up. Do I have a mixing ball in here still? I do not. Whew, but yes, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. This has been a very fun stream. Very excited to see so many friends here, especially shout outs to Ham and Blue and G-Dog, who we all haven't seen in a while as well. Very happy to see everybody here tonight. You as always, Flacco, and of course we got Nikki and Godzilla and Poster Boy here. I appreciate you all very much for tuning in. And don't, like I said earlier, y'all, don't forget to leave a like, please, and thank you. Oh, it's my pleasure, Ham. All right, so on down to business. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna mix up that paint. I'm gonna grab from in my bag of goodies from the shopping trip I actually took over the Thanksgiving holiday with Poster Boy. Got some nice little basing bits here. Gonna use these to our advantage for sure. Which reminds me, I need to grab my tweezers, because this is going to be kind of tricky without my box of mini tools. Got some tweezers right here. If I need anything else, I need my super glue. Let me find that real quick. That should be... Here we go. Here we go. Got some super glue here. I'm gonna set that aside for the time being. So we're gonna take our Doom Bull Brown. Not even gonna worry about thinning it necessarily, because this is just basing we're doing here. I tend not to stress too much about paint thickness, or thinness rather, when it comes to basing, because it's largely inconsequential when it comes to basing. And we are going to take this Doom Bull Brown and apply it all over the base here. I figured it would be a nice color to pick out to contrast against the blue models. So that's why I wanted to pick that. For the color contrast. I love this color. Of the Citadel range, Doom Bull Brown is easily one of my favorites. Easily one of my favorites. Absolutely adore this color. This is going to require multiple coats, because it's actually pretty thin straight out the pot, so that's nice because it makes our job a lot easier. Ham, as a quick pro tip for you, you know, when you're painting, right, you should always feel as though the paint is flowing from your airbrush, and not like you're sort of dragging it or sort of scraping it off the brush. Basically, you shouldn't feel the paint fighting you to leave the brush. If you do, your paint is too thick and you need to thin it. I will give you my personal tips on how to get the right thinness for your paints pretty consistently, because there's no one surefire way to do it. You know, oftentimes when like first time painters are starting out and they're learning how to thin their paints, they'll find advice that says like, oh, do like one part paint to 2 parts water, stuff like that, which you can follow that, but there's also there are ways that don't rely on like ratios. Take this ratio. There are ways that don't rely on ratios to get the right thinness, at least with your normal paints, right? When you're going just straight from like paint to brush to model, stuff like ratios and stuff, that really comes more into play with like airbrushing most of the time, at least for me personally. Those are kind of the only instances where I worry about that. But no, I will show you a way that I have to thin my paints pretty consistently and get it right. Because also too, it's not a universal thing, because different colors and different brands of paint, there are a lot of things that can affect how much you have to thin a particular paint. What color it is, the brand it's made by, the concentration of medium inside of the paint, which is kind of related to the second point about brand, because, you know, different brands have their own recipes for their paints. And the other thing, of course, is like how old your paint is, but usually the age of your paint's not going to come into play most of the time. Yes, you are correct to assume that different formulas would react differently. They definitely do. They definitely do. Actually, you know what, that this is completely unrelated, but like as another little interesting tidbit about paint, you know, since we were talking about the science of how paint is made and stuff before, an interesting thing to note about paint is that you know, when you're looking at a particular bottle of paint, when it comes to like traditional acrylics, you might think that when you look at the paint, you're looking at a paint consisting of one consistent pigment. Oftentimes you are not. Like, even take this color Doombull Brown, for instance, right? There isn't a single brown pigment in this that makes it brown, right? Which is probably something you can like divine pretty easily from looking at this, because, you know, it's brown. Brown is not like a primary or even a secondary color, right? But the point is, but it is a naturally occurring color, but even so, there's a mixture of, like, you know, maybe like, for example, 6 different pigments in this paint that make up the color that we perceive as Doombull Brown, right? And this comes into play when trying to mix colors, because whereas you might be like, say if you have like a blue and like a dark blue and a white, and you want to brighten up that blue, right? Now your white, more often than not, is going to be a single pigment, because white is white. It's pretty easy to just get like a single pigment of white in there and leave it at that, right? Whereas your dark blue, it may have like 7 different. Actually, I have a perfect example right here. Where is my dark Prussian blue? Here we go. Vallejo dark Prussian blue. This color probably is like very strong. It probably has like 8 different pigments of it, 8 different pigments inside of it, right? Whereas my pure white is definitely just one pigment, right? Therefore, when I mix these 2 colors together, whereas you might think I'm mixing 2 colors together, in reality, I'm actually mixing 8 plus 1 colors, so 9 colors together at the same time. So what does that mean? It means that if I'm trying to lighten this dark Prussian blue in a way that I find effective, in a way that I find useful, I'm probably going to need a lot more white than I might suspect. Like, it's definitely not going to be like a 1-to-1 ratio. It's probably going to be like 3 or 4 drops of this to 1 drop of this to get like the light blue that I want. Or you can be a coward and just buy it separately. Nah, I'm kidding. Learning how to mix paints is important, but definitely not necessary. Can save you money, of course. Save money, live better, Walmart. But actually, I'll show you this one other thing that I have. This one other paint brand I have. I got this for Christmas last year. I'll just grab one of them off the shelf right here. Chimera colors. Chimera brand paints are very nice because these are every paint in this line is a single pigment, so they're very good for mixing. In fact, in order to get like, you know, 99% of colors that exist out there with this series, you have to mix them. They don't come like a variety of colors. They only come in like 12 or so different single pigments, and the idea is that you mix them all up for the colors that you actually want, for like more like creativity and whatnot. Actually, that dried on pretty consistently. Okay, shameless self promo. I'm dead. You guys are hilarious. Okay. Just waiting on this to dry. You might notice how this how the traditional acrylic paint isn't drying as fast. It usually takes about a couple minutes for like your traditional acrylics like this, for example, to dry, whereas like your contrast or like your speed paints like these, for example, are gonna dry within like a matter of seconds. Actually, that's part of what makes them so speedy to paint with, is that they dry fast, so you can either move on to applying another layer directly on top of it, or you just move on to a different part of your model, assured that that part is going to be pretty dry pretty soon. I want to wait for this to dry, but at the same time it's taking a while, and I do need to apply a second coat. So let me, it's because it's just sort of pooled up. Let me actually just spread that out a little bit better. I didn't spread that out very well. All right, let's move on to applying a second coat of this real quick. We got 8 minutes. That's plenty of time. We are doing just fine. Not going to use as much paint just to save on drying time. Now let's get the rim here. I'm gonna have to pop this out of its holder eventually to get the parts where the holder is holding the base at, but that's okay. We will simply cross that bridge when we get there offline. I just need this dry before I apply any super glue. You definitely do not want wet paint and super glue to mix on your model ever, because then the two will react and it will not look good when it reacts to each other. It will look quite ugly, especially if you're painting anything that's white. Yellow snow, you know, yellow snow, it's gonna look like yellow snow on your model, and it's gonna look very gross and disgusting. And you never want that. You never want your models to look gross and disgusting unless it's by design. But like this is like the one type of gross and disgusting that literally no one would ever want. No one in their right mind would ever want. Because then you have to clean it too. Actually, you know what? I know of a perfect way to speed up this drying process, actually. Hold on. I literally forgot I have an airbrush sitting right here next to me. Let me plug in my air compressor real quick, and then we will expedite this drying process. Where's my power cable? I don't really care about the PSI. I won't bother trying to reset that real quick. Alright, let's plug that doodad in. Flip this power switch right here. Let's see. Yeah, that's about 30 pounds per square inch. That's fine. Perfect. All right, let's just gonna blast this with air. Speed up the drying process. Cause I'm impatient. Normally I would be painting all the bases together at the same time in like a batch. So like as I'm painting another, like the second one, this one would be drying. But since I'm just trying to wrap up with this one model, we're gonna expedite the drying process, like I said. Been looking for the last hour or so, but I didn't know about that about super glue and paint. Yeah, that's why when you apply super glue to your painted models, you gotta A, give it the full 24 hours to cure. B, make sure you're letting it cure in open air, so that way when it mists, it doesn't like make your model look all foggy and dusty. And B, you want to make sure that the paint is also fully cured too in whatever area you're applying the super glue to, because then the two are going to react and it's going to make it look very bad. It's going to make it look very bad, especially if you're painting white. You get that yellow snow effect. There's no going back from there. And in extreme cases of it, it's going to constitute a model strip, really. In extreme cases, it will constitute a model strip, and no one wants to have to strip their models because that's a very time-consuming and arduous process that no one should ever have to go through. I've been through it. Anyway, okay, so what I want to do next is I want to take our... let me open this because I haven't actually opened this yet. Yay, new hobby supplies. There we go. Take our tufts out. Bada bing, bada boom. We're going to very carefully apply super glue here to the base. Where is my... Yes, I need the brown Battlefield 2 here in a little bit. So first things first, I'm going to use the super glue here to... Uh-oh, did this dry? Oh my god, it dried up on me. I need my needle. I have a special needle that I use for when stuff like this happens, whether it's to a paint pot or to, in this case, a super glue bottle. Uh-oh. Don't tell me I lost track of my needle. I appear to have lost track of my needle. That's okay, because I have another bottle of super glue actually ready to go right here anyway, so... We're gonna put this away. I'm glad I spotted that because I'm gonna have to fix that. Hold on. That's the funny thing about super glue. This isn't working well either. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to do this the
ghetto fabulous way. Hold on. I have a very specific method for... Is this dry too? Oh my god. Hold on. Hold on. Definitely don't want to get any super glue on my fingers. I will have to... Uh-oh. Well, I did get it on my paintbrush, which does touch my fingers, typically, so... Gonna definitely get rid of that very fast. Okay, and we're gonna very carefully pour this onto the model. Oh my god, this is such a ratchet way of doing this. Alright, that's not perfect placement, that's not exactly where I wanted that, but we will roll with that anyway. Because now we're going to take our tweezers, and we're going to apply our tufts very gently to the model. Oh, actually I forgot, this one's actually pretty liquidy, so it actually gives us some space to move stuff around and rearrange, which is nice. And then to accent this, I'm going to actually put some of the pink tufts in with the green tufts. Make it look a little bit more... Because I didn't want to just apply straight pink tufts, because that didn't look too realistic to me. Also, these are very tiny, too, so they definitely need some, like, backup. And yeah, there we go. Nice. Hold on. Let me pull that more in right there. Yeah, that actually looks quite nice. That actually looks very nice. Now, these tufts do have an adhesive already on the bottom of them. The problem is the adhesive is often not very strong on these sorts of things, so I like to reinforce it with super glue. And you'll see a lot of people often opt to reinforce these with super glue just to make sure that they stick, especially after like many hours of handling. Now they're never going to move because they can't. And then the last thing we're going to do, this is one of my favorite little techniques to do, is we're going to take not super glue, but some standard Elmer's glue, PVA glue, which I also have up here. And I know this cap is definitely fucked, so I'm going to use my sacrificial paintbrush here to cover all the void space left on the base with PVA glue. This is a very fun technique. I like doing this, what I'm about to do right here. I'm going to cover every bit of void space that we can see. Even the area between the legs here. Because the nice thing about PVA glue is, of course, it dries on transparently. So it doesn't matter if we get it on the model, you know, as long as it's not like an extreme amount. It doesn't matter if we get it on our tufts that we've already placed, because it's all going to dry on clear. It is all going to dry on clear. And of course, we can get it right off the brush immediately with some good old-fashioned H2O. And now before this glue dries, we're going to take our brown battlefield terrain decoration. I put the wrong cap on this. We're going to take this, take our model, we're going to very carefully hold it by the top. We're just going to dip it in here. We're going to brush off the excess. Perfect. And now we have some nice little dirt and stuff on the base to complement everything else. Probably gonna have to go back and redo the tufts, because I did get some on top of the tufts where perhaps I didn't want any. But at the same time, though, it actually does kind of make it look pretty realistic, because it makes it look like the Plague Marine is sort of like kicking it forward as he's like moving through the dirt. So I actually am not I don't hate this actually. What I do have to be aware of is that there is plenty of excess, though, that I'm going to have to shake off, and it's probably going to fall off naturally over the course. But yeah, there we go. See, that's a fully finished Plague Marine right there. Got a retouch the base there on the areas where the model holder was touching the edge there. In fact, I'll do that right now before I forget. Yeah, and you know what? This is also made by the Army Painter too. Uh-oh. Huh. The super glue that I got on the paintbrush almost got it stuck to my workbench here. Imagine how hilarious that would have been if that actually happened. There we go. All right. That Plague Marine is now fully finished. And we are fully finished for the night, my friends. There we go. All right, we made good progress. We made good progress. Not as much as I thought we were going to make, but also we made really good progress at the same time. Because, you know, even though we didn't move very fast, we moved very well through this project, I thought. Here we go right here. See, boom, boom. Wait, hold on. Let me hold on this way so you can see it better. Got the paint drying on the side right there, but that's okay. I think that looks pretty dang neat, y'all. I think that looks pretty dang neat. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed our time together here this evening. I greatly appreciate getting to hang out with all of y'all every week. It is honestly my favorite part of my week. I'm not even kidding. Thank y'all so much for watching once again. Don't forget to leave a like on the stream before you go, because of course it helps out the channel a lot. And don't forget 2 important announcements. Number 1, immediately when we come back from the new year, next Friday, January 5th, we will not be streaming here on YouTube. We will be streaming on twitch.tv / Chimera Paints Minis, just to give it a shot. And going forward, at least throughout the month of January, we're going to be giving it a shot over on Twitch just to see how things go for a while. And we're also going to be adding a second weekly stream. We are now going to be streaming on Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, in addition to Fridays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time as well. All that's going to be on Twitch for the time being until otherwise stated. When we come back next week, we are going to be starting on the Poxwalkers for the Death Guard, because I'm going to finish these Plague Marines off stream just so that we can have the space to be able to move into a new project for the new year. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, until I see y'all again, I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Be well, and Happy New Year, everybody. We made it to 2024, y'all. Goddamn. But I love you all very much, and thanks so much for tuning in once again, y'all. Have an excellent night, all right? Peace.